Rogers Show on 560 QAM. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560. Toll free in Dade and Broward. Or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests and callers do not necessarily represent those of the Beasley Broadcast Group, its staff, advertisers, or agencies. Now, here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Remember this golden gasser.
No Sodom's hiding a lot more than gold. They say they're weapons of mass destruction. I say we send a couple megatons bomb Iraq.
Yes.
In the Gulf War, we let him off the hook. I think it's time to give his blood a whoop. So it's time to load those B-1s up on Iraq. On Iraq. Oh! Till there's nothing left to see. On Iraq. Till 7-6 feet deep. On Iraq. Throw up the creed, bomb Iraq. And they say it's got done, and chemicals that burn, and I load them up on guns. If we land the fair, we better beware, because some of them strength won't be done. On Iraq, bring it to an end. On Iraq, blow him up again. On Iraq, live on CNN. On Iraq, ooh, bomb Iraq.
Okay.
We'll toss this stupid bomb. Bomb Iraq. From here to Kingdom Come. Bomb Iraq.
It's 10:03 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you. So here's yesterday's poll question. The biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is, well, before we get into the result of the poll, they had the few thousand family march yesterday. Huh? Well, it shows here the picture. Now, last time they stopped making estimates of the crowd because it got people pissed off. Because they said, we have 1 million. And they said, no, you don't. Hey, we got 1 million. No, you don't. Well, you're a bunch of racists. Okay, but you don't have 1 million anyway. You had like 400,000. Did they have 400,000 yesterday?
No.
40,000?
No.
Were 4 people there?
No.
Well, they had a smattering. Tens of thousands is what it was. See, I still don't understand, generally speaking, I mean, sure, there must be some black people like J.C. Watt in America who've got some money. But not too many. Still very far behind the 8 ball. And what color is the 8 ball? It's black. You think there's just a coincidence there?
No.
I don't. I think there's something Freudian about that. The fact that the 8 ball is black. You ever played billiards? How come I don't hear you? You said sure, but I didn't.
Oh, because somebody turned
somebody's dicking around with a board in there? Somebody's dicking around with our equipment in this goddamn place again?
Uh-huh.
God damn it! Not that we really care, but it sounds good. I want to say a special hi to Jeez Louise, my therapist. I'm sure she's not listening, although her husband maybe. My therapist went for my first therapy yesterday for my hand, and it's still there. You know, people keep asking me, well, how's your hand? And I hold it up. I said, still there. I mean, how do you expect it? And then Peter Leonard is in here this morning, that bozo. Oh, gee, I don't like the way that looks. It's still that swelling. Well, of course it's still swelled up there. What the hell do you want, Dr. Leonard? Everybody here's a doctor. It's going down, and the hand, too, and the swelling. It takes time. These things all will pass. Then they hook up all that neat stuff to your hand and send that electrical charge through there. And then they hook it up to your... and it's really exciting. Well, speaking of that, at the risk of talking about something that nobody in the audience cares about, but I just mentioned this in passing, since everybody's concerned about athletes with illnesses and injuries and stuff like that. Pavel Bure, as you know, those three of you who are hockey fans, had a strained groin and had to leave the game Friday night in the middle of that game. Well, at any rate, to make a long story short, the good news, according to the article by David J. Schvo in the paper this morning, says he's feeling lots better. But the thing, especially after going for my therapy yesterday, the thing that I found very interesting, and Dave the cop, you're chronic and you're a pain in the ass. We heard you at the end of the worst team there. Get out of here. Take your Cardinals and get out of town. How they doing, by the way? The Panthers had Saturday off. Bure stretched and received treatment with team physical therapist Marianne Town on Sunday. Now, he says, I think it'll be fine. So whatever Marianne did to Pavel's groin, because I went for my therapy yesterday, and she smears some stuff on the hand, and she squeezes it and rubs it, and before they do, they hook you up to all the other machines and stuff. They squeeze it, and they rub it, and they rub it, and they squeeze it. And so, you know, I read that in the paper this morning, and I started thinking to myself, what the hell do they do when you have an injured groin like that? Well, what's the therapy that a massage therapist would do? I'll find it in here.
Just rub it?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. See, that shows you my hand isn't up to snuff anymore like it used to be. It's a little slow.
It's coming back.
It's coming. And the hand, too.
A little more therapy.
So that takes care of that about Bure. I also, before I get into the thing about the poll with the blacks, and it has nothing to do with his race, but this thing about Alonzo Mourning, I mean, talk about a story just overblown. I know we had some people yesterday upset that I played that Exorcist music in the background, which had nothing to do with him or disrespect for his illness. It had to do with the fact that the press conference was ponderous, unnecessary, and ludicrous. The fact that we had to hear about this doctor, where he was from, who he's married to, what his kids' names are, what he had for breakfast yesterday morning, what they ate at the Pickle Barrel in Toronto with the 1,000 nephrologists that they're up there taking up all the hotel rooms over the weekend. You know, as opposed to just putting it right in perspective. He's got this illness. It's serious. They're treating it. He's going to miss at least a year. That's it. Could have been said. Didn't I just say it in 15 seconds? And talk about rubbing salt in the room. He was singled out, this fat little pudwhacker was singled out by Alonzo Mourning yesterday in his remarks for being such a piece of crap, which he is. Missed the story consistently. He was the one person in this town, as usual, totally had the story wrong. Oh, and Zoe tells his friends he's going to play as recently as yesterday morning, just hours before the press conference. Barry Jackass gets the story wrong, and what's supposed to be a real newspaper, the Miami Herald, and what's supposed to be a real city, which it's not. And even gets him throwing a little caustic comment about the fact that he wouldn't sit back and wait like everybody else for the real information, but was pushing and putting crap in the paper every day. So as a reward for getting the story wrong again yesterday and getting bitched out, guess who writes the front page story with all the big pictures here? You got it, Barry Jackass. Oh! See, one thing about the Herald, they may not be good, but at least they're consistent. They're consistently full of crap. I'm telling you, man, if you could bet a lot of money on this, if there's anybody in this town that's got naked pictures, besides Screw Ann Winnick and the Water Nazi, but if there's anybody else with naked pictures, Barry Jackass is the one. Maybe he'll show them to you. Maybe Mommy will drive him over to your house and he'll actually show them to you. 9 minutes after 10 at 560. How about that Xerox, baby? $7.75. Oh! There's that schmata head on there. Needs a good shave, bath. He slid at the neck. Oh, I forgot. That's right. George is working today. I better not say that because he likes the Arabs. He likes the laundry heads. A lot.
Yep, even the Jews.
Give them back their land, baby. Give them back their land. Come on.
Oh.
I hear the rumor is that all the Jews are moving out of Israel. They're moving to Brooklyn. That's what I'm hearing.
When does that start?
This weekend.
No portion of this program may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM DC Broadcast Group Incorporated.
Neil God.
They have ugly feet, the Palestinians?
Oh, they're not.
Oh, you're thinking of what's his name that worked for Whammy. The one with the real fat feet.
I had to buy a Cadillac, a big stinking took-the-go. I wish I had my money back. It don't do much good standing still.
No.
Go drag him down the desert way. Go greedy smelling walk. Let it deal with the oil man. And now we're getting robbed.
Yes.
That's right there. Oh, we get robbed. Oh, we get robbed. That's right there. afraid only grow a pair of balls. Wait to stop the scrappy day. Fire up the jet fighter and blow those towel heads away. Ain't no copycats right there. Bossy telegraph, bossy telegraph. Copycats right there. Bossy telegraph, bossy telegraph. Copycats right there.
10:14 at 560 WQM. George is going to be doing a couple hours in the middle of the show today about the Palestinians and what wonderful people they are and how they had their homeland stolen and how we ought to really be very sympathetic to them, even though they do smell bad, and that all these Arab terrorists keep blowing up people, including U.S. soldiers, all over the world. But nevertheless, isn't he Jewish, Osama bin Laden? Isn't he a...
No.
Oh. In a rambling speech, Farrakhan touched on violence in the Middle East, the presidential race, welfare reform, and poverty, known primarily for his condemnation of Jews.
Boy!
And his fiery rhetoric of self-help for blacks. The Nation of Islam minister called for everyone in the world to look beyond race and unite as one peoples. At one point, he offered a metaphor for racial diversity. What is more beautiful than a bouquet of flowers, different colors, but growing out of a common earth, needing a common water, growing into a common atmosphere, he'd be asking. Who would be stupid enough to say a rose is better than an orchid, he said. How do you like that? Who is what do you give me a look like that? Is a rose better than an orchid? That's a good poll question. What do you like better, a rose or an orchid? Which smells better?
I like orchids better.
Louis Farrakhan or the Palestinians? Which one smells better?
Orchids are better.
Than roses?
Roses have those thorns.
Pricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I prefer the rose. So anyway, we didn't really have much of a big crowd for that yesterday, and the point I was trying to make before I so rudely interrupted myself was that probably the reason for that is most people are trying to eke out a living and have decided that they don't want to come there and give their $2 or $3 a pop for Louis Farrakhan so we can continue this masquerade, this scam that he's got going on now. Just like Jesse, I saw Jesse's out there in California. They settled that union thing out there in Pasadena, and he's out there, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, and if it doesn't fit, you're full of crap, or whatever rhymes with fit. So our poll question yesterday, look at this, 694 votes, the biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today. Bigotry, only 51 people said bigotry. 7.3%. So are we buying that as the answer?
No.
No, not this crowd. And of course I know that the first thing that a lot of you darker folks would say is, well, that's white people voting on that. Well, maybe they're more objective. And of course, I know we get that whole song and dance about how white man never, stood in my shoes. Well, of course, most white folks don't have feet that big. So how can they be in your shoes? But anyway, the other, lack of education and job skills, which is where I cast my vote. And of course, what did I know? 262, 37.7%. But far and away winning this poll yesterday. Lack of responsibility, 381, 54.8%. In other words, get with it. Get an education, get a brain, get the chip off your shoulder, and get a job and be like a real person. Now maybe I'm reading that into all those things because we don't have comments on there. Also, I should mention last week one day we had a fax from some expert out there telling us about our website. Remember that? Giving us a critique and how we ought to have a space in there for a comment. We don't want comments. The show is for comments. See, we do a radio show here between 10 and 2. This is for comments. We already went that route one time with chat rooms and comments and all that baby crap that the Internet is just loaded with, overflowing with. You can smell it. You can feel it. You can step in it. We don't want that. We don't want to clutter up our website anymore, which Eric does a great job and is doing just fine, over 40,000 hits a day. So we're doing pretty damn well. We don't need any advice from you experts. He says, oh, well, some high school kid could put together a website better than that. Yeah, right. Well, what's his name? So anyway, we should mention here, we got a couple of things we got to plug. What's the matter? Your thumb is killing you? Maybe you can go see my therapist. She'd talk your ear off. No, she's very nice. Louise. She would still talk your ear off. She's bop, 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 bop. Where the hell is my...
She rubs it. I don't care if she talks.
Now, where the hell did this just come from? Copy points? Did Bluff...
Oh, that was, they gave me that on Friday. It's been floating in there since then.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess that's a good thing because I lost the other sheet. Here it is. The official water of WQM is Purple Parrot Country Spring Water, available at Walgreens, which we thank our friend from Purple Parrot Country Spring Water for coming in here and bringing us some this morning. But we also, because the official water of this show is Soleil water with our friend Sal Falcone. Is that bad?
No, you like it fizzy, so we get Soleil.
Well, no, see, we have the QAM website, but we also have the Neil Rogers website. So we have the official QAM water, but we also have the official Neil Rogers water, because these are basically two different radio stations, which they still don't understand. That's why we had to go through that whole... We didn't have to, but obviously they would have been very wounded and very upset if we wouldn't have put on that whole song and a dance at Alonzo Mourning press conference yesterday. See, Hank replayed the whole thing yesterday afternoon, because Hank, the older he gets, the smarter he gets. He actually does about 5 minutes of a show. You think I have a lot of vacation time? Hank may not have as many weeks of vacation time, but actually in terms of the amount of show that he does, I think Hank works about 3 weeks a year now, something like that, if you take it hour by hour. Like today, he's got Al Downing at 4, and Robert Jones, I have no idea who that is, but he must be some kind of a dark-complected jock, Robert Jones at 5. And then playing that press conference yesterday, that took like about, 2.5 hours out of that show? So basically he's boiled it down to just doing a few spots.
We could play it again.
Anybody? Okay, let's see if there's anybody in the audience who wants to hear, because we did screw around with it yesterday a little bit. It was very disrespectful. Well, what are you laughing about?
Insensitive, relentless.
Insensitive and racist and non-basketball loving and all this other. And you know, the punk that called, well, if it was Pavel Bure, would you put the press cut? No, I would not. See, first of all, this is not the Heat station. Do we carry the Heat games on WQAM? No, we don't. So going back to when it was the Jimmy Johnson thing, of course, we're the Dolphin station, or the Dan Marino retirement announcement, we're the Dolphin station. So it did make some sense, because they were major announcements that had to do with us. And I realize I see the front pages of the papers today and all this big song and a dance. Yeah, like I said, I wish the guy well. I wish him no ill health. But I really don't care all that much, because it's of no significance to me. And to put the Miami Heat on a par with the Dolphins in this town, or to elevate it to that level, is ludicrous. Because even though I've never been to the American Airlines Arena, even some of the old file footage they showed yesterday of Alonzo playing, they showed the thousands of empty seats, or in one case it was only hundreds, but in a couple of clips I saw, thousands of empty seats in the background in the American Scamline Arena. So who the hell are you people kidding? Oh, no, you're wrong, Neil. Just like this moron, and he is, boy, Greg Kotex. Man, you're an idiot. Zoe's diagnosis reverberates across South Florida. Now other major sports stories around us appear to shrink, he says. And just like Joe Zagacki said that you overheard on Fox News yesterday, the unctuous... Joe
Zagacki.
Yeah, talking about how this is all everybody in town is talking about. I didn't encounter anybody. I went to my therapist yesterday. I went to the store. I went a couple of places. I didn't encounter anyone who was talking about that story. And I'll get back to that in a second, because people who live in little narrow worlds, that's all they talk about, is whatever is in their little narrow world and the people who are with them in that little narrow world. But anyway, in his ridiculous column this morning, Greg Kotex, who's always ridiculous, at least he's consistent, he writes, no one Dolphin player or Marlins player is fundamentally as important to his team as Mourning is to the Heat. Pavel Bure's indispensability to the Panthers may be close. Maybe. He isn't quite willing to go out on a limb yet and say, may be close. Even Geldy in the hallway this morning was ripping you an ass, Greg Kotex, and rightfully so, because you're an imbecile. You're an idiot. The Panthers without Pavel Bure might as well close up shop and go back to a Calloway or somewhere. Forget about it. Oh, maybe is you're a moron. So what do you think? Should we play that again?
Yeah, go get it.
Do we have any calls? Anybody want to hear the Alonzo press conference again?
Well, I mean, they're not going to call. They're going to wait to hear it.
No, I'm talking about... what do you mean they're not going to call? They were calling yesterday. They didn't like the music in the back. And you had 5,000 calls off the air from the sports nerds. See, the sports nerds don't listen to this show anyway. That's why they're calling off the air, because that's the number that they know.
Just to answer my question.
Yeah, that's right. Here's the sports question. Do he be playing, and is he going to let us down, and how long is he out, and can we bet on the games, and et cetera?
I should have started making crap up.
Look for the QAM van from 11 to 2 today, from 11 this morning till 2 this afternoon at the McDonald's. 67th Avenue, Palmetto Expressway. They'll have the Neil Rogers best of CDs and cassettes and the keychains. Which, like we told you the bad news yesterday, the keychains are not at specs, but the CDs and cassettes are at specs all over South Florida and also in Naples and Fort Myers. So Miguel will be out there in the van. You can look for him, too. God only knows what he'll be packing. So here's our poll question for today. Oh, look at that. We went over 700 yesterday. No more votes on that thing about black people, okay? I think we got the message. Overwhelming. Lack of responsibility. And because we had so many calls yesterday about George's brilliant show they did on Friday with that guest, that laundry hitter, was it an Israeli? I really forget.
Israeli Jewess, granddaughter of a rabbi, concentration camp survivors in the family, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Born in Israel.
Does she know Drew Lieberman?
No, but she heard about him.
Is she a member of Hadassah? Anyway, because there was such, first of all, it started out that the show, well, we had a couple of calls saying and the show was really great. Then we had the guy who said it was the best talk show he ever heard in his life. Then there was a guy that called in and said it was the most important 4 hours in the history of the human race. Then after that, we had somebody called in and said it was the epitome of what broadcasting is all about. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm missing the boat. Because leave it to George when I'm away losing my ass in Vegas to come up, and realize that what we're doing here now is passé. It's finito.
It's just a happening issue.
No, you're wrong. It's not a happening issue.
That day it was.
No, it's not.
Just broken.
No, it is not.
Okay.
It's not a happening issue.
All right.
It wasn't a happening issue on Friday. It's not a happening issue today. Middle East peace is an oxymoron. There was a comment in that. It's an oxymoron. It's ridiculous on the face of it. It isn't going to happen. 5,000 years of hysterical hate isn't going to end. They can have a summit every minute of every day, and Bubba and Madeleine Albright can sit there with those long, sour looks on their face from now until hell freezes over. It ain't going to happen. Because you've got three groups of crazy religious nuts all bent out of shape about Jerusalem. That's what they're all psychotic about. That's why there's going to be there's never going to be anything. What am I looking for a word for? There's never going to be anything meaningful. There's never going to be they can sign on. How many peace treaties have they had just in our lifetime? Huh? Couple thousand? Every week we have another peace treaty, and then all of a sudden they're killing each other, and they're bombing and blowing up school buses and burning people alive and doing all these barbaric things. And in spite of all the other window dressing that they would like to tell you about, it comes down to one thing. Crazy religious nuts.
We discussed that.
Well, that's what it's all about. Everything else that they want to bring into this discussion is all window dressing. So the idea that because of the fact that they were having this emergency summit over there, which they're all sitting back with sour looks on their face, it's pretty hard to make any progress when everybody's just kind of like hunched back in a chair looking like their dog just crapped on their foot. And that's how they all look. But anyway, here's our poll question today. Because maybe, like I said, you touched on something. You got your finger into it. Or maybe it was that Israeli girl. Should the show go back to guests and topics? That's our poll question today. What? I'm not asking you. I'm asking the audience. You just lit them on fire with that show on Friday, man.
It was a timing.
I don't want to get left in the dust here. That's been my one key to survival. Is I've always been able to make a little move before the bullet hits you. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Unlike the worst team. Should the show go back to guests and topics? Here are your three choices. Yes, once in a while, or absolutely not. Those are three choices. And whatever the audience wants, we'll consider it. Oh, I'm not going to say whatever the audience wants, we'll do it. What, are we some kind of like automaton? Like if they start calling up for that stupid press conference again, are we going to play it?
No.
Of course not. Once was more than enough. More than enough. Barry Jackass writes a front page story after he got it wrong every day for like a week and a half. Misinformation, including the morning, that's without the U, the morning of the morning with the U press conference, he gets it wrong. And the next day he's writing a front page story. 26 after 10 at 560 WQN.
Yank it, baby!
Well, I think it's time I set the record straight about my friend George Bush. Some people seem their noses out of joint. If he did drugs back then, so what's the point? Because as a candidate, George Bush is fine. So what if he started a line? Well, he's the best damn candidate I've seen. I don't care if he pops amphetamine. President Clinton was a ticking mine. So here's to Bush. Keep it alive. I guess I just don't understand what the big deal is. We've had many presidents in the office who've done one thing or another. Take Gerald Ford, for instance. Obviously, he was on something. Otherwise, why was he falling down all the time? And take Jimmy Carter, for example. I thought he was so hopped up on skunk weed, he didn't even know there were hostages for the first 8 months. Why even way back to Washington? I do believe the only reason he chopped down the cherry tree was because he had the munchies. Think about it.
10:32 at 560 WQ. Well, George Washington had no problem. He didn't chop down a cherry tree. He chewed it down because he had those wooden teeth like a beaver. At any rate, well, speaking of guests, we can always have this Phil Stahl on, the atheist guy. There's a first guest you can book. Now George is going to have to start booking guests. Oh! Just wait till you see the outcome of this poll. I think it's going to be real interesting. What are you laughing about? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Tonight, baby. This is it. The big debate tonight. Are you going to be watching?
No.
I will. I'm going to be glued to it. And this Al Gore, somebody better slap this bastard up the side of the head and say, hey, wake up, bozo, because it's slipping away. He's now fallen behind in Missouri. He's fallen behind in Ohio, or at least so they're saying. Michigan is on the verge of vanishing into the Bush camp.
Maybe he should snort a line before he gets out there.
He should snore a line?
S'more.
He should snort s'mores before it couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
First off, I'm definitely already voted on your poll, and I just think guests stimulate you. Like how I would like to see it is eventually you do 2 hours by yourself, and then 2 hours with somebody in the afternoon.
Like the old days, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean
2
not
hours
every
with a guest and 2 hours just to me,
Yeah, not every day, but
going back to the old days with those. Get the nutritionist guy on here.
No. Get like Al Goldstein and all that.
I don't want Al Goldstein on this show. Oh man, every time he comes in here, it just throws the whole show off.
I tell you, those are some of the
fat
funniest
Ron
things.
Jeremy.
I love them though. I just think it's great because it throws you into areas that you never talk about, and it's always
like what? What is it? What do I talk about? Sex?
No, just different. You have somebody right there who's in your face.
Talking about my he wants to take a dump in my toilet. I mean, that's pretty captivating radio. That's entertaining.
Well, we all.
I wouldn't be surprised when I get back over there. He probably has done somewhere. Maybe on my front stoop.
Hey, my prediction is
poop on your stoop. Yes.
Tomorrow, when you see your poll, when you look at your poll tomorrow.
I got news for you. If I ever lost some weight, I might be able to see my poll.
Hey, one other thing. You got to hear this, and I hope George is taping this because I had a party this weekend, and we had about 45 people jammed in this condo, and this is the message that I woke up to in the morning. It'll come through loud and clear. Listen to this old alpha cocker mad at me. Check this out.
Friday, 11:53 p.m. Stop making all that noise, you and your body.
Oh!
that was for real?
I swear to God.
Come on.
I swear to God, she had a couple of messages she left me. Stop making all that noise, you and all your body.
Well, cut it out, Sonny.
Oh, it was beautiful. So we just cranked it up louder, and actually we played that Neil God.
You're going to burn in hell, Sonny.
We loved it.
I'll see you there.
Thanks.
Bye. 5670560. So anyway, can I finish the thought about people that live in little tiny, like Joe Zagacki and Greg Kotex and my friend Jeff Rimmer? When he used to force those awful hockey shows on me, and you'd be sitting in there getting 50,000 calls off the air from people screaming and threatening to commit suicide.
Well, I'm just making that up because I have a personal accent.
But anyways, and then he would always say to me, every time without fail, he'd say, "Oh, everybody loved those shows. You're crazy, man. George doesn't know what he's talking about. Everybody loved those shows." Because the world that he lives in, the dozen or so people who will even speak to him are the hockey people. Don't you understand? So naturally, those would be the dozen or so people who would have listened. Was anybody else listening to those shows?
No.
No, the audience ran away like all of a sudden there was bubonic plague coming from the speaker of their radio. Let's see, oh, look at this. See, you have little faith. You're not, you thought you knew how this poll was going to come out? I don't believe this. Should the show go back to guests and topics? Once in a while, 17. Absolutely not 17. Yes, 3. So in other words, they don't want a steady diet of it. But if I could bring like the chiropractor in tomorrow, we could get Jane Donegan in here talking about nutrition and voodoo on Thursday.
Hey, we could get your physical therapist because I want to know about myself.
Louise, my physical therapist, come in here. She could talk your ear off. She could do the whole 4 hours without taking a breath. She's great, but boy, can she talk. And we could have her on Friday. So we got the rest of the week booked already. Oh! Yeah. I mean, Hank can't be the only one faking his way through that show every day. Why the hell can't we do it? Sitting here begging for phone calls when I could be having an interesting guest. We could have Ernie Sochin back doing biorhythms.
No.
Come on. We could have Reverend Emma in here doing those psychic readings.
No.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to know what your opinion is about
What's my take?
Yeah, your sorry, I'm starting to break up here a little bit because I'm mobile.
No problem.
I'd like to know what your opinion is about the possible injunction about the citrus-canker, stopping the citrus-canker cutting down in Miami-Dade.
I'm going to tell you, sir, they better stop it right now because they killed a dog the other day. I'm glad you mentioned that. I brought the story in here somewhere. They killed somebody's a boxer, a 4-year-old, a beautiful dog, and now they're denying that they didn't really frost my ass a lot.
Mm-hmm. So you'd rather have you'd rather pay more taxes than you know, I understand the dog was killed. You know, that is a tragedy.
Pay more taxes for what? To fight the chankers?
Taxes, most of our taxes, the reason we don't pay state income tax is because citrus is our second biggest industry.
Citrus? Did he say citrus? He's gone. He said citrus, didn't he? He's gone. 567-0560, pound 560. Yeah, I can't find the story. It's in here somewhere. Maybe I clipped it out. Really pissed me off.
Those assholes, those
bastards.
I hate
and then
them.
they denied that it was them. No, it just must have been a coincidence. All that stuff they found on the ground there and the dog foaming at the mouth and died. And the policewoman that went in there to take a look and see what it was, and she was gagging and puking and vomiting from it too.
It's not just that they're taking the trees with impunity and being very insensitive about it, but just everything that they're doing in association with it is really objectionable.
Okay, so here's George to talk about trees for 4 hours.
Assholes. I'm done.
21 before 11. Well, look at this. We only got one call on the board. This is an important day. This is a turning point in my career. In fact, I thought very seriously about just letting George do guest the rest of the week because we probably can solve this Middle East problem right here on the show if we just put our nose to the grindstone. Hopefully it won't become a big Jewish nose like that because George gets upset about those.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Where's my meat?
Hey, Paul, Sis has got something coming out of the oven. That I do, Sugar Dumpling. Whose is it? I don't know, but one thing's for sure, it's inbred, all right. I'll say, it's got your cropped eyes. And mine, too.
The McCoy family of white trash Tennessee has been keeping them in the family for over 150 years. How do these genetic daredevils stay so healthy? Well, it's no secret. It's inbred. They're bred with 400% of the daily allowance of iron to keep blood pumping to those extra limbs. Inbred's chock full of vitamin A, so you can see clearly out of all 3 eyes. Yes, if you're keeping it in the family, it's inbred. Kids love it, and moms do too. Oh, so do dads and uncles.
10:45 at 560 WQAM. Owner says dog killed by citrus chemicals. Here it is. A mysterious chemical killed one dog, incapacitated a cat.
Oh!
And sent a Miami police officer to a hospital Monday afternoon. A Coral Gate homeowner called police to her backyard at 2:30 p.m., charging that citrus-canker worker sprayed her 4-year-old boxer with chemicals, killing him. 2 officers responded, noticed liquid in the lawn next to the dead dog, said Delrish Moss, Miami police spokesman. When Officer Linda Arias approached, her mouth went dry, her breath came short, and her chest tightened. Also found on the 3600 block of Southwest 19th Street, a black cat, alive but seemingly immobilized, its eyes glazed over.
Oi!
Monday night, no official was prepared to say what it was that took down a dog cat, and an officer who, in Moss's words, is as tough as nails. The Department of Agriculture was prepared to say what the poisonous substance was not. The only chemical citrus-canker workers use is GX1027, an antibacterial soap used for decontamination, spokesman said. You can drink a glass of that. It's not going to hurt you, said Mark Fagan of the state's citrus-canker eradication program. Hazardous materials crews took samples of the liquid in the lawn, the backyard soil, and an open bag of fertilizer. The Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office was going to perform an autopsy on the boxer, and police were waiting for Arias' blood test results. For Carolina Sanchez, however, there was no doubt. She told police that after workers began working on removing her neighbor's tree stumps, she smelled a strong odor and went out to check. She found Tyson, her boxer, on his side next to her chain-link fence. Earlier, she had made frantic phone calls to the police and her neighbor, Jenny Fernandez. If it killed the dog, I don't know what can do to the kid, she said. She did not doubt her neighbor's accusation. A few months earlier, she noticed a strong odor when workers first cut down her 9 trees. They put something on the stumps and to stay out of the backyard for a couple of days. Impossible, said Fagan. Besides the soap, the state hasn't used chemicals for 2 years. So much this has been a coincidence, George. Just another one of those bizarre coincidences.
And my fence and the sidewalk stones, the paving stones, that's all cool.
All you citrus-canker lunatics out there that are destroying people's property, running havoc, killing people's pets. Oh, no, we didn't have nothing to do with that. We know. Do we believe them?
No.
Look at this poll. This could be the most... See, you've opened up a Pandora's box. Little did you realize. Look at the poll result. 77 votes. Should the show go banana? See, you got to listen to the wording that I did on this poll here. We're talking about taking steps backward, just kind of like electing George W. Should we take several steps backward? And they're saying yes. Should we go back to guests and topics? Once in a while, 44, 57.1%. Absolutely not, 27, 35%. And yes, only 7.7%. In other words, not all the time, but like maybe, 4 or 5 days a week. Huh? 5 or 6 days a week.
5 or 6 days a year.
20 or 30 guests a week. What's wrong with that? And of course, one thing that they'd find out about guests see, there are no guests in this town. I did it for 15 years. I did that. Wasted my time. And we had the same 5 guests. Most of them are dead, like Henry Rothbard. He was kind of entertaining. Doctor! He was always exciting. He's dead. Ed Cohen, he wasn't very exciting. He's also dead. I mean, so now the pool of possible people we have on the air. I was watching Larry King last night, and among the other people he had on there was Senator George McGovern. Now, I had Senator McGovern on my show many times on the phone over the years, back when I was doing that boring, terminal, awful talk, for which I apologize again. And I like George. He's a good guy. But I do recall very vividly on INZ one night I had him on the phone. And I because I had him on so many times, I felt familiar with him, like I knew him. So instead of calling him Senator, I kept referring to him as George, which I noticed Larry called him George last night. He didn't seem upset. And so he responded by calling me Mr. Rogers. And it was like only halfway through the interview I realized he was doing it kind of sarcastically, like a little shot, because I was calling him George, a little bit too familiar. Yeah, that's a true story. Mr. Rogers. Yeah, hey, George. That would be like if I was talking to the president. Hey, Bubba, what do you think about what's going on over there in the Middle East? Well, Mr. Rogers, I'm looking at it pretty pissed off these days. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes right down to it, they here once in a while, 58% now. They want guests on this show. And, of course, we're here to, whatever you want.
No.
Aren't we? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami. Long gone. Okay, here's Miami again. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think you should do that kind of interviews. Whenever there is problem in Miami with free speech, we could be 7 days a week.
Uh-huh.
Listen, you don't know about what is happening in the Nuevo Herald sport page. They have
in what?
A Nuevo Herald in the sport page of the Nuevo Herald.
No.
They have a young man, 35-year-old, who writes every Sunday a column. And on October 8th, he wrote a column criticizing a sector of the Cuban community for rooting against Cuba in the Olympic Games.
Are we going to go back into this?
No, but I think
I'd rather eat nails for 2 hours than hear about Cubans again today.
Neil, the problem is that this guy, because of that article, is getting fired from the Nuevo Herald. And Sunday, they did not print this article that he did print for 5 years every Sunday in the paper. And Saturday, they printed 17 letters to the editor of the Nuevo Herald, 15 letters lynching this guy, including saying that if the Cubans that read the Nuevo Herald want somebody in the paper to get fired, the paper should get fired, because after all, they are the people that buy the paper. So, again, this is a violation, and I think the non-Cuban sector of South Florida should know what is going on in here, because this would be a tremendous injustice done to a journalist for exercising what is our right. I know that you're sick and tired of this, but somebody has to know this.
I'm going back to Vegas and lose some more money.
No, don't lose money, but at least
I'm going to buy some more Xerox. I'm buying Citrus.
Try to find out what is going on, because
no, I don't want to find out what's going on. I don't care what's going on. It's of no interest to me.
Well, I'm sorry, but
no, don't be sorry, but I'm just telling you, I don't care. I mean, I wish the guy all the luck in the world, but the fact is that we live in a fascist county, or at least you do. I don't live in Dade County, and that's it. That's the way it is. It's a banana republic. It's never going to change.
Yeah, but what that means is that if somebody in this community key against, for instance, against you also, in as much as you have a tremendous audience and you're a guy that is respected, you could also be a victim of this kind of machismo.
Like, in other words, like they haven't tried it the last 25 years? The Catholic Church and every other right-wing lunatic group, every homophobic group, hasn't tried to shut me up and get me off the air?
Yeah, of course they have.
Yeah.
And you have
maybe this guy didn't have good ratings. Maybe that was his problem.
Well, anyway, I just want to vent my
I'm so unhappy that you did. I mean, usually you have something really significant, but today...
Well, I spoke to this guy, and he's on distress. Let me tell you that.
He's what?
I spoke to this fellow.
He's wearing distress?
And he's really distressed.
Well, maybe that's why they fired him. Okay, well, listen, good luck to him and to you.
Bye.
See you. Oh! And you want me to go back to guests?
How did I say that?
You said it during the last break. You said, I think that's a great idea. You said, who do you want me to start booking? I said, oh, you got to be kidding me.
I said, do you want me to call your bookie?
Oh. 59 people say once in a while, 40 say absolutely not, and only 9 say yes. How many said yes?
9.
Oh. These people, you started this on Friday.
I had to do something on Friday.
What do you mean by that? You did the greatest show in the history of radio on Friday, which I'm very proud to hear that, but now you put me in a spot. Now I have to actually bring somebody in here. Maybe a dog named Spot. I'm really pissed about that woman's dog. Because you know what a dog lover I am? I'm going to tell you something. Seriously, she ought to go and... Whoever did that, she ought to go blow their brains out. Just like that thing in Coconut Creek with a guy with a gun on his ankle, you know, with his permit, who shot and killed the people's dog because the dog came out of the driveway and, didn't really do anything, but he wasn't taking any chances, so he's dead. And nobody cared about that. See, this is what really slays me. And I'm not saying that dogs are more important than humans, although in some cases it's pretty nip and tuck. In some cases, no contest. But nobody cares about that. We got some basketball player who unfortunately has got a kidney ailment, and right away everybody in town is supposed to be in tremendous mourning about that, pardon the expression. Yeah, we're supposed to be having a nervous breakdown. Here's a guy that's making millions of dollars that I'm sure the organization with Mickey Arison and the entire weight of the organization and all that medical care behind him, gets the top doctors in the world, whatever treatment is available, you know he's going to get it. It reminds me of Mickey Mantle and his liver. Only in this case, the doctor went to great lengths yesterday to point out that Zoe hadn't done anything. It wasn't HIV, it wasn't steroids, it wasn't this. It was nothing that he did. Okay, we believe you. But with Mickey Mantle, he had done years. And Mickey Mantle was one of my heroes when I was a kid. But here's a guy who abused himself for years and years, boozing it up, destroyed his liver, but all of a sudden he got pushed to the front of the line and he got him a liver. Other people, other like schmucks, Joe Smith, Nancy Jones, they're waiting for years for a liver. Who gets a liver? David Crosby and Mickey Mantle. How do you like that? And Mickey Mantle didn't do any good because he was too far gone, so now he's dead. And somebody else who might have benefited from that liver, with or without bacon and onions, that person might still be alive today. Are they alive? No, they're dead.
No.
That's right. Because Mickey Mantle had liver because he was a sports hero, a jock. Whoa. Man, I'm excited for that. When are you going to get your priorities right? When are you going to start caring about everyday people instead of goddamn freaking celebrities? That's what makes me nauseous about this country. We're drowning in a sea of crap. Just like the thing with Bush and Gore, and they keep having these discussions on these talking head shows about, well, you know, maybe we in the media are responsible for, you know, pointing about, well, this one sighed too much, and they keep doing it. That's all they keep talking about. I'm drafting Mario Cuomo. That's what I'm doing. I don't care how many mobsters they got in the closet. I'm voting for Mario Cuomo. You know that Kasich creep, that penis-gate jackass from Ohio? He was on there last night on the panel. And Mario Cuomo, he just talks rings around him, circles around him. That's who we need, somebody who can speak. Well, I'm not worried about whether somebody sighed or somebody looked like their hair was disheveled and looked really dumb. Oh. 10:56 at 560 WQN.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
There's a brand new show that's on Dr. Laura. Always saying she took his mom, Dr. Laura. Dr. Laura. Why are you on my TV looking kind of wrinkly, giving bad advice for free, Dr. Laura?
I don't understand that too much.
If you're confused, you'll point no way, Dr. Laura. To set you straight if you are gay, Dr. Laura.
You're gay.
Dr. Laura. Homosexuals are bad, that takes off the folks' glad, so there aren't too many hands on Dr. Laura. Well, what else is on? Where is Springer? Dr. Laura. There's a brand new show that's on Dr. Laura.
Here's a Derek Wisdom guy that faxed you about 800 pages to rebuttal your pro-Palestinian crap on Friday. And, Derek, all you're doing is wasting trees. That's all you're doing. They had to cut down 400 trees just to make the goddamn paper, the fax paper, that you wasted here this morning. It's in the wastebasket. We don't care. See, that's what you stirred up again. I don't want to go back to those days. I don't ever want to look back to that. If I have to sit here and go like that, which this week I noticed, and last week also, the phone calls have basically stopped, which is okay. I'm sure Friday you had a lot of calls from all those hysterical Jews.
Couldn't buy an open line.
There you go. That's right, because they're all... And what's the point? What is the point? I'd rather pull my teeth out with a goddamn pliers than talk about the Middle East. There's nothing to talk about. It's like the guy with it's like talking Cubans again. I don't want to keep repeating that same garbage over. There's absolutely nothing to say about the Middle East. Does it affect your life?
Oil prices do.
Does it affect your life? What's happening? I'm not talking about oil prices. That's business. That's all.
That's the only thing.
That's all manufactured. That's all fake. That's all controlled. They want to get those ledger sheets up, the balance sheets, before the end of the year. That was the quote. Direct quote.
Terrorism might.
Yeah.
Might get blown up.
Is that something new? Is that something that just started on Friday, like you said before?
No, it's just, it was happening up again.
Yeah. And? Is it going to stop?
It killed 4 hours.
Is it going to stop?
Not anytime soon.
Oh. See, I don't get it. I don't understand what it is. Well, I do understand down here, of course, because the Jews get hysterical. All I have to do is whisper anything against Israel. That's what kills me. Here, Lieberman is in the paper again this morning. Jew Lieberman. He was there in all over town. Cemetery Village, pandering to the old Jews again, going like that. They were quelling from him. Why, I have no idea, because he's Jewish. Forget about the fact what he represents. I'm going to tell you the best thing about the Middle East. All you had to do was see the story. I forget, it was on CNN last night. They showed a clip. And they showed it as a promo. I don't even know if it was on CNN. Maybe it was on MSNBC. It's not important. But they showed a clip. And on the clip, to promote whatever they were going to talk about, they showed first the Muslims with the shmatas on their head. Then they showed the Christians that were running there in Jerusalem, okay, with Jesus and this and that. And then they showed the Orthodox Jews, which always makes me nauseous, the Hasidim, with the hats on and the payas and the whole deal. And they're rocking back and forth, davening there like something out of the Stone Age. That's all you need to see. There's nothing else to discuss. You're dealing with crazy people. There's nothing valuable in that strip of toilet over there. There's nothing. They don't even have any oil. Although they do have the bomb. Just keep that in mind, George. They do have the bomb. But other than that...
They got it from us.
Yeah. F&A, baby. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. And for all of these people, the one guy, who did the guy want to hear? Al Goldstein.
I'm a fat Jew.
I don't want to hear Al Goldstein. I'll see Al Goldstein in Amsterdam. That's soon enough. Believe me, he's a good guy, a good fat guy, very funny for like 5-10 minutes at a time, and that's it. It's like going to eat with Al, going to a meal, and it's obligatory that every time in a public place, Al has to start using certain words. One of them begins with P. I don't want to say, like pussycat on the ear, or part of that. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. It's
Absolutely.
Loud, always, it's a gratuitous thing. And it's very funny the first 400 times. About the 401st time, it stops being quite so funny. And then after that, it starts being like a little embarrassing almost, depending on where you are. Like if you were at a formal dinner with Al with those baggy shorts and his T-shirt.
And his red vest.
And his red vest, yeah.
Vest.
Talking about eating and whatever else. Which, like I said, if you haven't heard it before, I guess you'd laugh. But I'm sorry, but
I'm a fat Jew.
You're going to have to come up with somebody better than Al Goldstein to convince me to have guests on the show again. Maybe only when George does the show we should have guests. What do you say? I vote for that. George can have guests. He can go out here on the street corner and bring in Jamaicans talking about the price of weed, stuff like that. Sounds good to me. Sure. Maybe get you a good deal, too, while you're out there. What? Here's a mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for taking my call.
Thanks for making your call, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that comment earlier about how ridiculous the media, they talk about these stupid things about the candidates. I don't know if you saw it in Time magazine, the last issue I was looking at. They were actually counting how many times each candidate and vice president candidate were blinking.
Yeah. They said that W blinked too much, and
Lieberman blinked 100, and he was the most blinks. I don't understand. Why? What does that have to do with anything at all? Does that mean we should be concerned?
It's a subliminal message, and of course, once you see that, you go out and you buy the new Blink 182 CD. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Oh man, I just had to call in to see if you saw that article. I mean, it was ridiculous.
The whole thing is ludicrous. All these cosmetic, forget about what they're saying, forget about who's really lying. And then last night, that thing about the $4.9 billion that they spent allegedly in Texas for education, and it come to find out that it was a bunch of bullcrap.
Yeah, exactly. And none of that means anything with even the hairstyle. They were making a comment about.
Well, I got news for you. If the election's going to be on hairstyle, W's in big trouble, I'll tell you that. He needs to undo that frizz.
All right, Neil, thanks again.
Have a great day. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Don't blink until you see the white guys. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Mario Cuomo, baby.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's who I'm voting for. Look at this phone here, man. I'm telling you. Let's talk about the Middle East. What do you say, huh? No. No, seriously, you have captured the crowd that wants to take this show back into the Stone Age and wants to do that stuff again. And look at the poll here today. It's proof of it. Can we find some Palestinian broad running around a building somewhere? I'm sure there's got to be one somewhere.
I haven't never met one.
Well, we'll find one. Go down on the second floor. I'll bet you we'll, or maybe we'll just dress somebody up as one. Or just find somebody who smells bad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. 8 minutes after 11 at 560 QA.
Georgia sucks, okay?
This is the story of Al Gore, trying not to be such a bore. Went on Oprah Winfrey show and she absolutely loved him. He's Al Gore. Al said he thinks in the nude. What better way to get you in the mood? It's only horny dude. He loves weed and Chinese food behind those Armani ties. Al Gore admits that sometimes he cries, so look at his perfect hair. Think about his crotchless underwear. He's not a plastic competition, dressed like your neighborhood mortician. Al wants to change your mind, that's his mission. This is the story of Al Gore, trying not to be such a bore. Wants to change your mind, get your vote. I want you to love him, not George Bush.
Oh, God, why me? Yes?
Hi, Neil?
Yes?
Neil, I went to the church an hour ago. Here's my question. I want to photograph it for you for a Christmas present because they have a pansy where I think you fell down, a bronze. It's the back of the church, right? That's where the hookers are.
The rear door, yeah.
Okay.
You ought to know that one, yeah.
Okay. I'm having dinner with your landlord tonight. Should I talk to him about the toilet?
Oh, you're in Amsterdam now?
Yes, I'm calling from Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's time to get rid of that toilet and get a real toilet in there.
I'll mention it to him. I really will, okay?
I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm in Amsterdam. I'm stoned.
How unusual.
Yeah.
I'm
here only until next Sunday, but I wanted to I swear to God, I'm going to take pictures of where you fell down.
Great.
So you'll always know. Love and kisses. I'm back in America Sunday.
Okay.
Bye, darling.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, have you got that now? He'll be back in on Sunday. Everybody in the audience got that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, got Al's itinerary. In fact, we can start doing that, no charge. We'll put that on the website. Put Al Goldstein's itinerary in there, like he faxes to us, like he has his office fax to us 45 times a week. You know the one I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There you go. And, of course, all you people out there that want us to go take several steps back, that want to, probably these votes on the website are from Bolger and crowd over there at Queer Channel. That's what that's coming from. Trying to drive the show back in the old days. Yeah, hello, doctor. Those days. You see, I hate to break the news to you, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one. I'm the odd duck, so to speak. I refuse to be dragged around by my nose. Now, the alien stuff, we had no choice because it was happening right here, and it affected our lives. But even during the alien business, there were days when I said, not today. I just can't take another minute of this. Just like our friend who called before, who usually has something to say, but started with that thing. I don't want to hear about Cubans and about goddamn the same old tired stuff. Boring. That's why most goddamn talk shows went into the children in Al Goldstein's toilet. Because people have heard it all a million times before. I will not sit here and discuss peace in the Middle East. It's ludicrous. It's idiotic. It's nonsense. There isn't going to be any. They can sign 50,000 peace treaties. It ain't going to happen. You're dealing with fanatical, crazy people. And the idea that you take fanatical, crazy people and you sit them around the table, or you, sit them on a sofa somewhere, and you're going to come to meaningful agreements that's going to have anything to do with the people and the way they behave, it's nonsense. Not going to happen. And all these people want to rehash 5,000 years of ugly, hateful, sick history. Go ahead. Not on this show, though. I'm not going to do it. And how come have we got any names? Anybody called you with a name so far of any guests? All I got was a dirty look. The answer is no. No. No names, no suggestions, just Al Goldstein. Well, I was just on there, just like when he called last week. Did Al have something to say? No. He's stoned in Amsterdam. And he's going to put a pansy on a cobblestone there where I fell by the old church in Amsterdam. That was it. He didn't even say anything about eating or anything like that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. Listen to your show all the time. Don't change anything.
Okay.
I'm the neighbor in reference to the dog that died yesterday with the canker people.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. He was a very nice dog, and the agriculture supervisor came out. Very, very rude woman. And
bitch.
Yeah, exactly. She said that they do not use chemicals, and yet the smell was amazingly bad. And the neighbor on the other side, where they did the actual tree trimming or whatever, she has a paper that they gave her before when they did the job the first time, and it didn't take. The tree grew back. They said that they use chemicals and that could be hazardous to pets and humans, so stay away from the area that was being treated.
So in other words, they're changing their story now?
So she has this letter, and she has made copies of it, and I think she gave it to the police today, that there is, that they do use it apparently only in some places, or maybe it depends on the guy's, how he feels that day. You know, so that's proof that there was a chemical, that we weren't making it up. The dog didn't die of a heart attack.
Sounds like the makings of a gigantic lawsuit to me.
It certainly does. But that dog, you know, they're trying to say, well, it could have been a condition, you know, that he went over there and he smelled it and he died. Sure, the cat, too, and the police officer got sick, and we all got sick.
Yeah, you must all suffer from the same condition, right?
We all had the same condition. So it was really a very, very strong smell, and in my humble opinion, I didn't see it.
Sounds like murder to me.
Hey, I was just going to say that. You know, the dog was barking through the bushes, through the fence, at the guys on the other side, which is his job. That's what you have a dog for, to bark at strangers.
Sure.
And in my opinion, that the guys got really peeved at the dog for being so close. I think they just sprayed him right smack in the face. I'm just hoping that the autopsy shows something on the dog, because
like I said, it sounds like a gigantic, humongous lawsuit to me.
Right, exactly. Well, I just wanted you to know that that something's fishy around here, and it's not our imagination.
Good luck to all of you.
All right, keep up the good work.
Hang in there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, horrible story, grotesque, unacceptable, because we have the canker police out there now, too. In fact, even if you get like a cold sore, they're going to come to your house and arrest your ass. The canker police. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Any suggestion on these great guests we're going to have here on the show?
No.
Huh? We could have some of those sports guests, some of the slop over from the sports shows. Should we want to have any of those on here?
No.
I don't think so. 155 votes. Should the show go back to guests and topics? Once in a while, 80. That's 51.6%. Absolutely not 63, 40.6%, and 12, 7.7%. We got 12 people living in the distant past who want to go back to W Snooze and dig up all those dead guests and go back to that again. How about Marvin Dunn? He's a good guy. You want Marvin Dunn on the show?
No.
He's a good dark boy. Want to have Marvin on? Brilliant guy. Dr. Dunn? See, one thing about me, I don't take steps backward. I just keep moving forward as fast as I can, not backward. Glavin pleads guilty to indecency. Oh! Not Tommy Glavin, although certainly that pitching performance was indecent. Caught in a sting at a gay cruising area, legal advocate for conservative causes Matthew Glavin pleaded guilty before a federal magistrate October 12th to public indecency, a misdemeanor for which, as a second-time offender, he could be sentenced to as much as a year in jail, 3 years probation, and a fine of $50,000.
Only $50.
He'll be sentenced in December. Previously, Glavin had vehemently and adamantly denied the charges against him, a difficult position to maintain after being arrested twice on the same charge in the same park. Although best known for actions against President Clinton, including those leading to the current disbarment proceedings in Arkansas, Glavin is president and chief executive officer since 1994 of the Atlanta, Georgia-based Southeastern Legal Foundation, has opposed the interests of gays and lesbians as well. The foundation filed a friend of the court brief in support of the Boy Scouts of America in support of their successful appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court this year to retain their ban on gays, and won its Georgia Supreme Court victory in 1995 against domestic partner benefits for City of Atlanta employees. So here and this guy just happens to have a wife and 2 kids, I might point out. Who was in the park fondling a cop, a plainclothes cop. How do you like that? So that just proves your theory again, George. This guy must be obviously as straight as an arrow. Yeah. And like I've told you so many times before, you can mark this down, as Wayne said, Baldy. Mark this down. That the homophobes out there, the ones who are obsessed, I'm not talking about just, get nervous in the shower. I'm talking about people who are like professional homophobes like this guy, Matthew Glavin, and any of the other ones. Trust me when I tell you, they're all screaming closet cases. Every one I've ever encountered in my life. Every single last one of them. Self-hating faggots. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Because like we've pointed out so many times, why would anybody in his right mind be worried about who anybody else is sleeping with or screwing around with, as long as they're not minors? Bob Bauman, as long as they're not minors, like 15-year-old boys. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't forget to look for the QAM van now till 2 o'clock at the McDonald's on 67th Avenue and Palmetto Expressway. They got the CDs and the Best in Neil cassettes for this year, benefit Planned Parenthood, and also the keychains.
And the new T-shirts.
Oh, and they do have the T-shirts, which are great. Last year's T-shirts sucked. This year they're great. Huh? No, these are the best.
Yeah.
These are beautiful. And a limited number available. So I'd rush right over there and grab one from McGill. And a T-shirt, too, and the other good stuff. I'd grab it. Now that my hand is coming along. Not that anybody out there cares.
As a matter of fact, don't you have to squeeze something for the therapy?
I have to squeeze my putty.
Just yours?
Is there some reason why they call it a bishop's putty?
They shouldn't call it a bishop prick.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Took it right off the edge of my tongue. Yes, sir.
Hey, I wanted to tell you what the police did with, not the police, but the canker police did with my daughter.
The Shanker police?
Yeah. My daughter is 14 years old, and she was at home. We left her at home. We had went out to dinner. She got a knock on the door. Well, she looked outside, and she saw some people standing there. So she's not allowed to let anybody in the house. They knocked on the door again. She said, hello, and they said, we're with the state of Florida, and we need to get in your backyard. She said, well, I'm 14 years old. I can't, I'm not allowed to let you in.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you have to let us in. She said, well, I have a Rottweiler back there.
So in other words, we have the canker stormtroopers.
Yeah, oh, listen, this will even get better. She said, I can't let you in. Well, he said, if you don't let us in, we're calling the police on you. He threatened my daughter. She wound up taking the dog inside. We wound up having a ruckus in the house because we have 7 cats.
Yeah.
And having a 130-pound Rottweiler didn't work out very well. My wife called the commissioner's office about Crawford or whatever his friggin' name is, called him about it, got a supervisor to come out, and absolutely nothing was done. She has made numerous phone calls because they threatened my daughter with police, and she said, I'm only 14, I'm not allowed to let anybody in. He said, if you don't let us in, we're calling the police and we'll get in your backyard. That's what our state of Florida is doing right now.
Lovely.
They really suck.
Okay, pal, lock the doors. We'll let you know when it's safe to come out.
Thanks, Neil.
Good luck. How do you like that, huh? Threatening his daughter. The Canker police. Enough to make you barf. 5670560. And the public, oh no, well, we want to argue about what's going on in the Middle East. I don't care. I care as much about what's going on in the Middle East as I do about Zoe and about his ailment. I care more about him because I wish him well, because he's a human being. I wish him well, and that's it. That's the end of that. That's the extent of my interest. You notice we haven't had one call about that? Not one. Because generally speaking, I don't think that most of the people in this audience are all that much. In fact, I don't think anybody is. Even when they sell those games out, most of the people are wandering around, and I've heard about this since they opened at American Airlines Arena. They wander around, they schmooze, and they booze, and that's it. And maybe they'll come back and watch a couple minutes of the game, like at the end if it's close, and then they'll go home. Like I told you, the home opener, the Panther game, I go out there to take a leak, and this is in the middle of a period, okay? The pink light comes on for the 2-minute commercial break, and of course the pink catches my eye. But anyway, I go out there to take a leak, and here's these people in the middle of a close game, and they're wandering around in the goddamn hallway. Not a couple of them, but many of them. They weren't like going to get food. They weren't, they were out there socializing while the game was on, and I'm thinking to myself, what kind of people are these people out there? Why are they here? Why? Are we ever going to get an answer to that? No. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 400 open lines as usual. It's a new deal we got here now. 26 after 11 at QM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I feel really, really sorry.
I really do believe I've got you. Diary, my bathroom smells to you. Running out of TV, just don't stand in my way. I've never stopped to go. Diary, I'm empty, where'd you come from? Haven't eaten a thing for 2 whole days. I tried white rice and chicken broth, but nothing seems to work. My hemorrhoids are swollen, I feel like they're inflamed. I think I've lost some of my colon and I'm ready to go by dawn to 10. 'Cause I have tried Imodium, still have diarrhea. Oh Lord, I've got to run. Yes, I've tried KO Pepsi, but it's too late.
11:31. Always have to wait for that last good one, yeah. 11:31 at 560 WQM. We got Hank at 2. We got Hank with Al Downing at 4. With Robert Jones at 5. The Bookster at 6. Then we got the Mariners and the Yankees. 7:37 tonight. Boy, could have had that Subway Sirius in New York. And why the hell not? Who cares? See, the thing with the Middle East business, it's the same to the Jews as Alien was to the Cubans. It's the same kind of obsessive, sick, disgusting, grotesque that turns my guts, that makes me nauseous. Have we had anybody call in with a guest suggestion yet?
No.
Besides Al Goldstein, who's stoned out of his mind, crawling around. And you'll notice, see, what time is it? It's 11:30 in the morning, so it's 5:30 in the afternoon over there in Amsterdam. So here's a guy, 5 in the afternoon in Amsterdam, is sitting in his apartment, stoned out of his mind, listening to this show on the Internet. Now, if you were in Amsterdam right now, would you be listening to this show on the Internet?
No, I'd be stoned out of my mind.
When I was in Amsterdam, did I listen? Well, of course, I didn't have a computer. But assuming I did have a computer, would I be listening to the show on the Internet to make sure George didn't have some guest on again?
No.
No. And then wait till you hear about the bill that he gave me to fly this bitch in that was on Friday. Yeah, like I'm supposed to pay the guy that bill to fly her in from Haifa or wherever the hell she came from, this Israeli broad. that he pretends he just found wandering around a building somewhere with schmatters on? Who the hell are you kidding? How's that poll coming, baby? Should the show go back to guests and topics is our question today on the heels of George's award-winning show. And I'm not knocking George, I'm just knocking the audience. Those calls yesterday. That was the most important 4 hours of radio in the history of broadcasting. You better get with it, mister. I would rather sit here and eat 400 pounds of dog excrement than even think about going back to those days. That's just a little hint as to how I voted. Should the show go back to guests and topics? Once in a while, they're still in the lead with 89, but absolutely not is catching up fast with 78. And yes, 13. It was like a half hour ago it was 12. There's only one more, 13. An unlucky number in your case. Because the yes people, the answer is no. Here's a fax that says, oh yeah, here's a good, absolutely correct. You're dead on about Zoe and his press conference. What about the important things like the man with a gun on his ankle who shot the dog? Or those pigs who were running the teen prostitution ring in Kendall. Yeah. All you people in the news media, see, I've been telling you this for a long time. Back to the alien thing, I told you it was not an important story. It was a child custody case between a father and his son and a bunch of scumbag relatives. That's what that was. Child custody case. And the media obligingly, as they always will do, made it into a big song and dance and magnified it 10 million times more than what it is. And the same thing now with this Alonzo Mourning thing. That's a big story. But the fact that we got, cops running teenage prostitution rings in our town, that for somebody has swept it all under the carpet and we never heard another word about it, and nobody cares. And you people in the media, great job, Miami Herald. Great job, Sun Sentinel. Tremendous job, Channels 4, 6, 7, and 10. Beautiful job. Not. As Paul Harvey would say, where is the rest of the story? That's what inquiring minds want to know. Is there anybody out there who believes we're ever going to hear one more word about that story? No. How is that possible? If anybody listening to me right now, if you were running a teenage prostitution ring out of your house, and every cop in town, practically, every other cop, 2 out of 3, were coming to your house and banging this bra, these girls, underage girls, do you think you'd get away with it? No. You think you'd be in jail for a hell of a long time? And throw away the key, probably? Not only do we have anybody in jail, we don't hear anything more about it. It's in the closet now. It's in that lockbox that everybody's talking. Oh, you notice now even, is it Bill McCollum and his ad is talking about a lockbox?
The other guy.
Bill Nelson? No.
One of those.
No, I think it's McCollum, that howdy-doody fascist.
I thought it was the other guy.
Well, does it make a difference?
No.
Somebody stole Al Gore's lockbox. And Drew Lieberman's upset because he thought it was a locksbox.
Oy!
Yeah. Hey, don't put the locks in a box. It'll get stale. It won't be kosher. It'll be treif. Too Jewish for me, Joe. Too frickin' Jewish. And that wife, Hadassah, that bitch has got to go. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just still laughing about the locksbox.
The locksbox.
Oh,
maybe there's some stale Hummintosh in there, too, in which case I want to look.
I don't know why I'm laughing, because I'm really peed off today. I just tuned in to you. Have you spoken yet about that plane crash in Missouri with that Democratic senatorial candidate that was killed?
No. What is there to say about it?
Oh, I guess all I can say about it is, because I'm not going to say what I think, but I will say this. Maybe, I think the Democratic Party is jinxed. I think maybe God really does like Republicans better. I mean, what the heck?
Well, that's the God Squad. They got the bat line. Don't you understand? They got the direct connection.
What's going to happen to us? He's down 6 in the polls. He's losing women. You got the Middle East. You got the...
Well, maybe if somebody kicks him in the ass and he wakes up and says something tonight, because that's all it would take, because you'll notice the polls are so fickle now, because everybody hates both candidates. Yeah. So all he's got to do is show what a moron he's running against, and maybe might get the job done.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know who his handlers are, but remember when they said, let Reagan be Reagan?
Yeah.
Well, let Let Al be Al, and let him go out there and just kick some ass. Don't worry if the people...
Well, that wouldn't be Al.
Oh, but you know, that he does have that in him. And I just hope he just lets loose and he just slaughters this guy tonight.
Yeah, I hope he lets loose. Let all over his face. You know something? They get a 90 share.
I'm telling you. I wish I had access to the White House. I'd say, Al, just do your thing.
If he would just walk. Oh, remember how Rick Lazio walked over to Hillary?
Exactly.
In New York debate? If he would just walk over to W and bend over and fart in his face, get a 90 share easy. Good luck, sweetheart.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye. Don't you think that would do it? Put him over the top. Yeah. Take that one, baby. In fact, it'd be like a crapitation contest all over again. And stop pulling on your thumb. It's bad for you. I'll send you over to see Louise, my therapy lady.
Maybe I just need a whole bunch of pain pills.
Oh, there you go. I got those Delta shits. 22 before noon at 560 WQAM. We got 500 open lines. I want to see some action here today. I want these bastards to wake up from their lethargy. It's the 17th of October already, for Christ's sakes. The summer is over. The la-la days are over. Do we have one suggestion on these guests, which that's still leading 92 to 81. They want guests once in a while. Okay, we're giving you the opportunity. Anybody, give me a name. Give me a freaking name, like Stan Major on that promo said. Give me a name. Do you want Alan Burke?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's dead. How about Delta Burke?
Uh-huh.
How about Austin Burke? He's dead too. Damn it. It's going around, you notice? 21 before noon. Any other Burks that we can think of who are dead? Come on, real fast. How about Peter Leonard? That sounds like Burke.
Ray Whitney has a pair. It was the story of a girl who took the president for a whirl. Yes, she kept Bill Blatt in her knee pads, and we never did recover when he lied. Who's gonna fill in the next 4 years? Whether Gore or Bush, we still have our fears. Politicians are so insincere, never quite as honest as they would appear. Shake hands and give babies a kiss, then later on up to something so scandalous. No wonder we're all so confused. They get power and privilege that they abuse. Let's hope we will never again be betrayed by Commander-in-Chief stood false on the hate. Cross your fingers the day right after Election Day. It was the story of a girl who took the president for a whirl. Yes, she kept Bill Blatt in her knee pads, and we never did recover when he lied.
Yeah. 17 till noon at 560 WQAM. That's what I think. $140 they got out there. That's not too exciting. Of course, look at where they are. 67th Avenue and the Palmetto Expressway, McDonald's, and Mickey D's. You know what the D stands for, Mickey D's, don't you? Well, I'll tell you later. Look for the QAM van between now and 2 at McDonald's, 67th Avenue, Palmetto. They got the CDs, the cassettes, and of course those keychains, and the brand new Best of Neil T-shirts for this year.
Just got a compliment from one, as a matter of fact.
They're great. They're really great. It'll be there till 2 o'clock, so go and see the lovely Miguel. We can do a lot better than $140, I'll tell you that. Let's get going. Like this show today, what is with this crowd? Are they in mourning? Oh, I'm sorry. This should give you an idea, a clue. But at least somebody made the effort to fax. At least I give you credit for that. Here's a list of great guests that was just faxed to me. First name, Dion. Dion, who hates us.
You know, gone down the road, stop at Fannie Mae. I want to tell old Fannie what I heard of Boston. Don't stop me talking.
Maybe if I don't play Syphilis Sue, he'll come back.
I want to tell everything I know.
But since he started playing Syphilis Sue, he ain't too fond of me anymore, I guess.
I want to break up the signifying.
And since the bird died.
Whoa, people, somebody's got to go.
He probably ain't looking too kind down the show, because he hates me like course.
You know, Neil told Rich. Richie told the bird, and Bird told Annie. Annie told her mother. Tell her, brother, two don't stop me talking. I'm gonna tell everything I know. You know, like that.
There you go. See, he still lives. Still lives. Cut the crap now. That's disrespectful, man. The guy's dead. The guy's dead, and you're making fun of that laugh.
Hope nobody tells him.
Oh. You think he'd be pissed off about it? No, he's used to it. Guess who's number 2 on this list? Dion's a good guy, and he's, we already did that. That's why I played that. Killed some time, too. Guess who's number 2 on this list? Talk about terminal and boring. Another good guy, but I mean boring. Michael Putney of Channel 10. Do we want him on the show?
No.
No. Broward School Superintendent Dr. Frank Till. How about the guy from Dade County with the bad hairpiece, Dr. Fraud?
Like the snow.
Speaking of bad hairpieces, you see how we slip in all these things? Guess who the next name is on the list? Speaking of bad hair, that's my clue for you.
Jack Horkheimer.
No. Worse than that. Here's a clue.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
Oh, yeah. Ricky
Tickett.
is that?
Rick Shaw. Anybody in this audience remember Rick Shaw?
No.
Woody Woodbury.
Who?
Here's a guy. I mean, this list of guests is the reason why the light bulb is gone and all those people are the way of the wind. Woody Woodbury, an old washed-up comic. He used to be in Fort Lauderdale for 100 years over there on the beach when there were people under the age of 100 allowed there. My good close friend Craig Worthing is on the list. How do you like that?
Well, we can make an exception.
Yeah. Love you, Craig, but no, we don't want to talk to 90-year-old people. The president of the South Florida Council of Boy Scouts of America, Dave Thomas. No, he don't have time to be on the show. He's too busy eating, trying to foment his next heart attack. Todd Tungan from Channel 10. What would we talk about? Maybe we could ask who Todd's Tungan, but that's about it. I think I have a pretty good idea. And last but not least, and I'm not even sure if he's still alive, which I doubt, Tom Carvel.
Oh, I don't think so.
He's got to be dead.
He can't be.
Isn't he dead, Tom Carvel?
Sounds like he is.
Oh, my God.
Cookie puss.
Plus, he's from Jersey. Does he live down here, Tom Carvel? I sure hope not. So there's a list. There's a tremendous list. That should give you an idea of what is in store for the audience. I think people are going to be squeezing themselves. They'll be squeezing each other. They'll be dancing a Kazatsky in the middle of the street, even if they don't know what that means. Because we're going back to Guess, baby. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
All right.
Hey, listen, I never get to call too much, but I'm always listening to you. I got a couple of points to make
Go
about
right
the
ahead.
presidency and the canker problem. It's funny that in this country of 265 million people, this is all we have to pick from. I
Peggy
believe
Lee
that...
is asking, is this all there is?
Right. Well, no, the reason I'm asking is because I don't think it's them personally to blame. I think it's the systems behind them that cause these people to rise up. Bush-Gore has more experience than Bush, but Bush... there are a couple of points I like from each one, but overall, I don't think either one...
What do you like about Bush?
The only thing...
George, that is.
Actually, what I'm attracted to Bush is that he has a little more sense of humor. He comes out, he's not as rigid as Al Gore is all the time. And
Now, you know something? That's probably the first thing I think of when I go to vote for president, now that I'm going to be voting this year, is who's got a sense of humor? Who can crack a joke? Yeah.
No, that's not the reality. But overall, Gore is more polished. He should be the better candidate. But with people the way they are, you never know what's going to happen in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The Citrus-canker problem.
I know, yes.
It comes down to the bottom dollar. There are 3 companies that were subcontracted by the state, 3 nurseries, to do the eradication problem here in the county. And they charge between $9 and $12 per tree. So that's why that poor dog died, because they want to get in and out. And
that's what I think those people had done to them, was the old in and out.
I think you're right. So they charge between $9 and $12, and they can verify this from the paper a couple of weeks ago. And the more they do, they're making astronomical money numbers per month. So originally the 1,900 feet trees that were away were not susceptible to it, but when they saw the bottom dollar, they said, well, those included too. So the bottom line is the bottom dollar. The more they cut down, the more they make.
I say let's leave the goddamn trees alone. That's what
I think you're right, and have a nice day.
And back to you.
Take care.
Leave the goddamn trees alone. Quit screwing up people's yard. Too late for George, but how about somebody else out there and their dog? See, the trees I could live or, I could take or leave. Your property, that's another story. But the dog, at that point, is where we draw the line in the sand, okay? When you start messing with dogs, that's where some of us start getting really, really porked off. You asshole chanker people, you. 56705, and see, that's the kind of thing that George Bush would be all in favor of. He doesn't believe in big government unless they're effing with you. Then he likes it. He doesn't believe in big government when it comes to helping people that desperately need help. But when it comes to effing with your life and sticking their nose in it, then he believes in big government. If he doesn't believe in big government, who was it? Was it one of them saying last night? Maybe it was Mayor Cuomo. If he doesn't believe in big government, what's he running for president for? I think George McGovern said that. Well, he said he's not running for president of the Kiwanis. He's running for president of the U.S. The most powerful position in the world, and he doesn't believe in big government. Just more smoke he's blowing way in the air. That's all it is. Just like that conservative fascism bull crap. Compassionate, whatever it is. That's what Hermann Goering said, too. And even Dr. Mengele said the same thing. We're killing them lightly, is what he said. He was the first one to say that. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir?
How you doing, Neil?
All right.
Glad to talk to you. Listen, I got a fine guest for you. Maria Auspencaya. You can talk about lycanthropy with her.
About what?
Lycanthropy.
Lycanthropy.
Yeah,
werewolfism.
Become a werewolf.
No. How about Lon Chaney Jr.? What do you say?
Oh,
Get them on together. Book that show.
Ooh.
Yeah. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T Verizon. How about Mickey Dane? Let's get her on.
No.
Huh? Do some psychic readings. Or we could get the Princess Cleo.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Yeah. Crack out the old tarot cards.
She can do a reading right there on the table.
You talk about, well, I don't even have to tell you. No, seriously, never be an open phone line. And I think back to those, what are you laughing about? It's the truth.
That's why it's funny.
Biorhythms, psychic readings. Of course, if you measure people who think that because you have a lot of phone calls means there are a lot of people listening. If there are 10 people, like you do in biorhythms, 10 people on the phone, that means 10 people are listening. And as soon as they get their own personal reading, they're gone. Because they don't care about Joe Schmendrick's. They don't care about his biorhythms. They're gone. That's the end of that. Oh, that was great. Tell me something about me. Tell me something about me. Just make it up, but tell me something good about me. Or even bad about me. Just say something about me, because I feel, small, insignificant. I'm not big and important like all those big superstars who never have a bowel movement. I want all you kids out there, if you're skipping school today, to understand that famous people don't have bowel movements or do any of that smelly stuff. That's only for the rest of us who aren't so famous. But the rich and famous people, they don't do stuff like that. They only get laid a lot. And it's always very glamorous. Here's Davey. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
George's show on Friday sucked.
Yeah.
It was Palestine 101. I don't need to hear that when I'm looking for entertainment.
Yeah, see, this is an entertainment show. That's what I'm trying to bring it back to. I realize that, he's under a lot of duress and a lot of pressure and paid several people to make those calls to the show yesterday, but nevertheless.
Now, the Panthers, what they pulled Friday is unbelievable.
Oh, you're talking Panthers and you're telling me that the Palestinian stuff is bad?
In spite of that broad, who I don't want to show up at the game unless she's going to sit on my face, now they got a rock band playing during the TV.
You mean that they brought her back, Amy Schmendrick from Channel 7, they brought her back?
Yeah. She's big now.
And they wonder why nobody's coming to the games?
3 sections from where you sit now, they got a rock band playing in the TV timeout.
Oh, so we have more noise than ever before, and they wonder why the people don't come back. You people in the organization, I keep trying to tell you, I know the team is out on the road, but I'm sure that the organization people are listening right now. I keep trying to tell them, if you want people in there, make it a more enjoyable experience, and cranking up the decibel volume and keeping the noise constant is not the way to do it.
Now, hey, I buy 2 Panther packs, I sit in the $70 seats with my wife, I eat at the Oasis before I go.
Yeah.
I only have to spend $50 to have a really good time for 2 people. So the prices don't matter to me. But if they don't do something about the constant
noise,
I'm not going no more.
I don't blame you.
All right, pal.
Okay. See, there you go. We don't want to threaten or anything like that. But just tone it down and give us some time to think, to breathe, to get our brains unscrambled if we have any. They just won't listen to you. I don't know what it is. They're a bunch of hard asses, hard heads. And that's what you need. You need a hard hat when you go in there with some goddamn earplugs. Montreal didn't sell out their whole home opener, 2,000 empty seats, their second game. There's some real serious problems there. But don't confuse Gary Bettman, because after he gets the other 30 teams in the league, then we'll be all set. The Leafs suck, the Panthers suck, everybody sucks. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Neil, I just called to say that last caller, he was absolutely wrong. That show on Friday was great, and as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why you should have any guests because you don't need them. My opinion is that, George, he addressed an issue that's very relevant right now and did a fine job, brought somebody on.
I'm sure he did a fine job, but it's just
living in
the Middle East is very relevant.
Yeah, but a real point of view besides some, religious nut. So I thought it was a great job.
In other words, her point of view is real?
I don't know if it's real, but at least it's somebody that sounds like a human.
Is real?
Is real.
I'll see you, pal.
Have a nice day.
He said you did a great job, okay? And don't take any crap like I've always told you. Don't put up with any garbage from these naysayers out there. First they hated you, now they love you, and on next Monday they'll hate you like poison again because they're fickle. Doesn't bother me. That's what I say. Oh, you're wrong, Neil. You pissed off the Bush people, then you pissed off the Gore people, and you pissed off the Jew Lieberman people, and now you're pissing off the Middle East people. That's what I say. I'm here, like the guy said before, it's an entertainment show. If you learn a little something along the way just by osmosis, that's a bonus, baby. That's a free bonus. No extra frickin' charge. That's right. So we'll let George do one of those real super educational shows about once every 5 months. Don't do too much in the summer, please.
Oh, God.
Oh. No, because the reason they like the shows in the summer is because we're talking about sex and filthy stuff. They like that.
Yeah,
that's what Maddie Bell said.
Yeah, sure.
Eating ass. Stuff that's really educational, like eating ass. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to do.
Talks about that.
That's what they want to smell. God, and don't mix the two in there like Palestinians eating ash. I mean, oh, jeez. Not at lunchtime. God. Oh. You take the earplug concession for the arena. I'll take the nose plug concession for that one. God. And then, of course, there's always the rectum plug.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Estoy estrangulando el pollo para acá.
Oh, I don't know what it is about them, their whiny little voices or their big noses or goofy hats, tiny little schnickles. I don't know, they just rub me the wrong way.
Anti-Semitism lives in every speech Hillary gives. It's in the news.
You're gay.
Hillary hates Jews. Spewing hatred through the halls, busting people's matzo balls. It's in the news. Hillary hates you. She won't catch her like a menorah.
No.
God, she must have a wonderful aura. When she speaks, I want to cry. She could use a good rabbi. It's in the news. Boy, Hillary hates you.
1202 at 560 WQM. Here's a fax that George got. Which he just handed to me. I guess he was too embarrassed to give it to me until this point. From some laundry head, some Palestinian guy, Mohammed Diab in Boca.
It could be some other kind of Arab.
Who appreciated your open, true views on the problem and your virulent anti-Semitism, and keep it up, he said. Also, here's a fax that says, get involved with local politics like you did on WNWS. And wait till you hear the best line. Jim Phillips is making a good living doing that down in Orlando. Down in Orlando, okay? You see, the heaven and the hell crowd, the Jesus Christers, they're the ones who would tell you, like up and down is an up and a down. The down being hell. And of course, I think this guy's got a point. Down in Orlando. Jim Phillips is making it. If I could just go back to doing bringing local politicians in, maybe I could make a good living then, huh? Yeah, but I'm going to have to do it the way the market is in the toilet again today. What? What'd you be saying?
I said then you'd be somewhere.
Then I could be a contender. You're right. Going back to local politics like I did on WS News. Just remember, keep going backward, kids. Just keep taking several big fat steps backward, just like this country's going to do in 3 weeks. I have a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
All right.
Listen, I know you don't watch Fox News, but
not if I can help it.
Well, you're going to laugh at this. Bernie Sanders is a congressman from Vermont. He's an independent.
Yeah.
He's facing off his opponent. His Republican is a conservative, right-wing...
fascist, yeah.
One of those types. And he happens... this is a God-honest truth. He happens to be a Republican, and he's a transsexual.
Really?
So help me God. And the Republicans are not kicking him out of the race. They're going to keep him in the race. And it was funny. They were watching on Fox News, and Britt Young was talking about it. And there's a unique race in Vermont. You can verify it by calling the Burlington News. And the Republican, his opponent, there happens to be a Republican transsexual. It was kind of funny to look at.
Probably going to get a lot of men and women votes.
That's true. Listen, speaking about the stock market, I know it's in the toilet. And Greenspan is speaking on Thursday.
Oh, boy.
Do me a favor, Neil. Don't be in individual stocks. Why don't you go ahead and buy...
Most of my money is not in individual stocks.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the only individual stock I have a lot of, love this, was Xerox.
Well, there's always hope. Buy it.
There is.
Why don't you buy the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ? Those are the top 100 technology stocks. It's already down 50%. And just go to sleep and forget about it. And you got the... It's an index fund. You have to. If all those 100 companies go down in the toilet, then we're going for a depression. So I don't see the NASDAQ falling any further than around 3,000.
Oh, it's down 77 right now, and it's only noon. We've still got 4 hours to go.
Like I said, you own the 100 top Microsoft, Intel.
Yeah, Microsoft. And my stockbroker, Mitch Hirsch, told me it's 71, and it was a great buy at 71. I said I don't think so. It's $50 now.
Now I know, but you still have all the you have Corning, J.D. Udafray.
Yeah.
Sienna, you have all the top 100 technology stocks. You have 100.
I'm just taking it all to Pompano Park.
All right, but
I want to have a good time with my money.
Well, Greenspan speaks on Thursday.
Oh boy!
And don't forget the transsexual in Vermont.
Boy. Okay, thanks for the good news. Okay, 2 bad pieces of news. 5670560. Have we had a good guest called in yet so far? Those guest lovers out there. It's getting really tight on our poll. Anybody out there ever have a tight pull? Should the show go back to guests and topics? See, I think that on this show during the Alien days, did we have any guests during those days, during those months and months when we were the one voice of sanity in this town here? Did we have any guests?
No.
Did we talk about having any guests?
No.
No. Was there a need to have any guests?
No.
Was there anybody that we would have wanted to have on the show other than the fishermen?
No.
No. What's the point? Didn't we do an adequate job here, I think? No.
The point was, if I had said the things that I wanted to say about the Middle East, I would have come off sounding very
I'm not talking,
anti-Semitic.
see, now you're getting defensive again. I'm not talking about the show you did on Friday. I'm just talking about general...
Well, in general, no, that's subversion.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, we had Al Goldstein and Ron Jeremy in here that one day. Did we have a bunch of fat, old, washed-out Jews on the show?
No.
No, of course not. And I didn't, and everybody I talked to, oh, that was great. God, we were peeing in our pants. Why was that great? What was great about that show? I must be doing something wrong.
It wasn't great from this end.
And it wasn't great from this end, and they were like sitting right between us there in the middle. Big, porky, hairy Jews, which I know he's still listening over there. And don't call me again, Al, till, I'm off the air. So tired of hearing about how he's stoned over there and listening on the internet. Go out there and get a, job. Yeah.
Some kind.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you where that might happen, but nevertheless.
Wherever.
Oh, in a very dark room. 567-0560. Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello. Mobile in West Palm. Sounds real dead to me. Sorry, Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Billy, I got a suggestion for a guest.
Yeah.
That's this broad who writes in the Miami Herald, this Liz.
Wild.
I can't pronounce her last name. Help me out with it. She's read her articles, so she's so anti-American. She's always knocking the government.
Yeah, that's the one. Liz Balmaceda, that, George wants her in here. She looks pretty hot in that picture.
There you go, with the big hair and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
See if she's got the balls to come in on the show one-on-one with you to see how come she's not writing anything good about the government now when they came in and helped out with all them people in the floods and gave them the money to get them back on their feet again.
Yeah, and then before she leaves the studio, maybe we can pinch her green card.
I don't think you'd want to.
Yeah, maybe George might. Okay, well, thanks for the bad suggestion. Do we want her on the show? No, in fact, her column makes me nauseous.
240 out at the van, and they're dying over there, they said.
Well, that's because nobody's listening. We got one call on the board. We're not raising any money for Planned Parenthood out there at the van. They're all gone. They want guests. They want the Middle East. I told you, you've totally turned us upside down here. We've got the wrong crowd listening now. They're sitting waiting for something that's not going to happen. I'm coming in here in a good mood. I want to entertain. I got my therapy yesterday. I got my wrist a little less limp than it was before. Or is it the other way around? I think it's getting back to the limpness that it was before. And I'm making a little bit of a fist. I'm fisting. What more could you want? I'm doing okay. But, the audience, they're out there at the McDonald's. See, they picked that location. What do they want from me? They pick a crummy location like that because Miguel's being a professional Cuban today. We don't have any listeners out there. McDonald's, 67th Avenue in the Palmetto. They'll be there till 2 o'clock, huh? Who is out there? Who's out there? Don't give me any look. The hell was that? That's not dark. Are you kidding me? Those are darkies out there, 67th Avenue in the Palmetto? They've moved that far out there? Jeez, no wonder the Cubans are moving all the way into the Everglades. Well, that's the idea. 9 minutes after noon at 5:60 WQAM. Too bad we didn't have the little video cam there for the people on our website. That would have been very entertaining to see George doing that thing with his lips. Yeah.
It's a visual.
Yeah. 9 minutes after noon at 5:60 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Havelberry's got a huge pair.
On the corner of 4th and Bleecker in the heart of New York City, there's a hooker who can suck the chrome off a tailpipe. She's been trained in the conjugal arts since she was only 18, and she's seen more loads come her way than the receptionist at Weight Watchers. But if you want to see this lady in action, you got to know exactly how to find her. And when you do, you've got to bring cash. Because hookers like her may do what you want, but they don't take Visa or American Express.
Hey, baby, if you got the bread, I got the spread, honey.
Cash. It's everywhere you want to be.
12:14 at 560 WQAM. Yeah, put some pansies out there on the goddamn cobblestone, okay, Al? If somebody can escort you out there so you don't fall on your fat ass. It is a miracle that he can actually stand erect, and I use that expression very loosely. Here's a fax from Shelley in Miami Springs, who, along with some other stuff that she says about the canker police, says, please no topics, just stay the way you are. That's what Shelley says in Miami Springs. No goddamn topics. See, one thing that disturbs me a lot about professional ethnics, like the Jews with the Middle East and the Cubans with their Fidel obsession, if you could just for one day just be a regular human being with no labels attached, you'd be amazed at how your interests would be much more diverse and much more meaningful. The things that you expend energy thinking about and worrying about and being involved in. Things that really have some impact on our real lives. As opposed to things that you're all whipped up about that haven't got anything to do with your real life. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil, I got a couple of suggestions for some guest entertainment.
Okay, here we go.
All right, one of South Florida's newest homeowners. How about O.J. Simpson, his ongoing private investigation into the murder of his wife?
Yeah, okay.
And how about Maris Felices Gonzalez? You could find out what hospital preference she has.
Maris Greasiass.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Which one she likes best? 567-0560. We got 600 open lines here today. We're talking about the Middle East. Who's right? The Jews, the Palestinians, the Fabrice and Goyim. 567-0560. Well, I got to pretend I'm talking about that because then maybe I'll get some calls. I doubt it, though. We're in a coma phase now. We're just in that total coma phase. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Go back to topics, you Jew bastard. Thank you.
Very weak. Okay, here's our last call, and I have no idea where it's from because it didn't come up on the thing.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got some names for you.
Okay, take your time. You're our last call.
Casino Stand.
Casino Stand. That's a good one.
Can't do it.
Come on, you can do it. Come on. Don't hang up.
What are we going to do now?
Okay, we got no calls now. That's it.
I'll go get Queen Esther. I'm sure I can.
Yeah, get Queen Esther in here again. Boy, they don't come no better than Queen Esther. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, no calls on the board. Show's over. Been nice being with you. Georgia's going to be taking over the show tomorrow. I'm going back to Amsterdam. Getting paid for not working the next 7 or 8 months. Pretty obvious this audience is burned out on this old fag, I'll tell you that. And I can take a clue. It doesn't bother me in the least bit. As long as those checks keep coming every 15, 20 days, whatever it is, fine with me. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Too bad he couldn't have kept a straight push. I think we were going somewhere with that last call.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure we want to go there, but I think we were going. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you interview Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Maybe that would be something interesting.
How about hearing Howard on his own show? Sounds pretty good to me. Have somebody dial it up for you, like on Big 105.9 in the morning. I'm sure somebody could dial it up. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Yeah, Howard needs a lot more publicity. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
No, yes, please.
What is it?
No guess, please. You're fine just the way you are, Neil.
Okay.
Okay, listen, I thought personal information about helpful to you and take clips from the voice. Nothing to say my name about that.
Okay, thank you. See, he's going to wonder what happened, or he thinks I'm a bastard. I hung up on him. Your phone was like that, like that. So I do the best I can. I try to be a little bit on the patient side. Don't I try to be patient?
No.
Well, a little bit. And I just can't put that on the air because your phone blows. But then again, a lot of things that blow. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, I thought I'd give you the skinny on this whole canker police thing. I actually date a girl who works for the agriculture.
She's got a canker, yeah.
And the funny thing is, they got an 18-year-old in charge of like 200 people out there cutting trees.
Mm-hmm.
The whole deal is they're going to cut down every tree, whether it has canker or not.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they come to your house. If your tree doesn't have the canker, they say, well, there's a tree down the block that does have canker, and it's within such and such yard.
Yeah, it's spreading.
So we got to cut yours down. Either way, what these people are doing is they're spreading it around more than anything, because when they cut down the trees, they leave leaves flying all over the place.
Yeah.
They drag the trees all around the yard, so if you did have canker, now everything's spread all over the place.
They're smearing it around.
They're smearing it. They're smearing it. And so I
probably
just figured
somebody is smearing
that
in,
she told
too.
me herself that they're going to cut down every tree regardless whether canker or not. And it's a whole big scam. Neil, in closing, I know it's a few days late, but for the 13th on Friday, can you play Virgin Mary?
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
There he goes, picking on the Catholics again.
Yeah. 5670560, pound 560. See, I'll tell you one thing. They could mess around with George's backyard and cut those trees down. It doesn't bother me. I, heard him whining about it on the air for a long time. But when they start, what?
I didn't whine about it on the air.
The hell you didn't. You were hysterical about it.
Off the air, to you.
I thought it happened while I was away.
Well, the inspection, it was going on, but no.
And you weren't talking about it on the air while I was gone?
No.
You never mentioned it once?
They didn't flash it until you
Sure as hell a better topic than the goddamn Middle East, mister. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, like I said.
But I'm going to tell you, when they start messing with people's backyards like yours, it disturbs me a little bit. But when they start messing with dogs, that's when we start getting pissed off, okay? You chanker people. We hate you like poison. Oh, did he say poison? Is that what he said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like poison. Seriously, I hope she sues them for $50 million freaking dollars, and the jury awards her $100 million. Just out of being generally pissed off for killing her nice little 4-year-old boxer dog. Now, if it would have been a min pin. Here's Bokeh. Hello.
Hey, Queen Esther was a ringer. She was a fake. She didn't know what she was talking about. She had the same view as any 18-year-old idiot.
I told the people that yesterday, and nobody believes me. The whole thing was a put-on. He was doing a Phil Hendry deal here with a fake guest, and it was just a put-on. And the audience bought it.
She was an ignoramus.
She's never even been to Brooklyn, much less to Israel.
You're the best guest in the whole goddamn country.
Amen.
That's it.
God bless you. The check's in the mail.
Okay.
Okay. That's right. I'm my own guest, okay? My guest today is...
Neil, God.
Yeah. How you doing, Neil? Okay. Thanks for asking. Queen Esther. Was that her name?
Of course not.
You just got to tell me her name was Queen Esther, which, of course, you know what Esther is. That's Hadassah, means Esther in Hebrew.
Uh-huh. She used a fake name because she didn't want to get blown up.
She didn't want to get blown?
Around.
She had one of those? 5670560. I'm sure, well, she couldn't have been too hot. She must have been lukewarm. So she's in the building? Is it somebody that I know?
No, she's not.
That was even better than the thing with the lips. Oh, I'm sorry. That was bad. Oh, good thing we're not on TV, I'll tell you that. Woo! Anyway, speaking of the lips.
440 at the van, by the way.
Is that better? What was it before?
2-something.
Well, see, it's better. We finally picked it up a little bit. Maybe some of the sponsors stole robbed the 7-Eleven and got some CDs. See, I didn't know that was a dark area. Why would they be going into a dark area with our stuff? First of all, they're probably like you're going to get held up, number one. And number two, we got dark people that listen to the show, lots of them, and they love the show because they got a good sense of humor. Maybe they just don't understand what I'm talking about. But number three, they haven't got any money. They haven't got no money to go out there and buy the best of. Yeah, that's what we're hoping that they're going to do, but I don't think so. See, I think that's the new deal now. Chris, the nephew, he's pissed off at me because I ripped him on the air the other day. So now they're going to go out with a van every day, but they're going to go to areas where they know we have no audience. And then they're going to say, oh, gee, there must be nobody listening to that old man because we only raised $500 there today.
That's not true, and just to prove you wrong, they're going to Florida City tomorrow.
Yeah. In Gould's on Thursday, and the Range on Friday. They sure know how to pick them. They'll fit in real good down there. Yeah, that Miguel, he looks like a picker. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to hear that, I'm a religious man. I'd like to hear that Reverend Scott Jones speak on your show.
Who the hell is that?
Reverend Scott Jones, he's down there, at that Church of Jazz that was on there a while back on your program.
The Church of Jazz?
Church of Jazz.
Tasmania?
The Church of Chad. He runs that homeless church down there on 2nd Avenue.
Yeah.
But the guy with the disciples.
Oh, the guy with the disciples you're talking about, the Church of Chaz, the one that said...
You're gay.
Him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get him on there.
That would get a 90 share. Okay.
I'd like to hear him speak.
Me too. Excellent idea. If we could find him, he's
You're gay.
The best. Get a 98 share. Get a 110 share. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, and speaking of shares, what day is the book coming out? The summer book, which will be a monument to George and the great job that he did, even almost as good as that great show on Friday with that fake Israeli. What day is it coming out?
I don't know.
Well, how come we don't know these things? Of course, Bozo over there, he's out to lunch for his 3-hour lunch, so we won't find out from him. Who are you calling? Who would know that?
Yeah.
He's not going to be in there. It's 25. Are you out of your mind? 25 after noon, and you think that Bluff is going to be sitting on his ass in there in the programming when he officially can be out to lunch for 2 or 3 hours?
It's got to be next week sometime.
That's what I'm thinking. Got to be coming pretty soon. I smell that bonus money. Did you ever get the bonus from the...
No. I'm told, though, that it will be in this next paycheck in 3 days.
Oh, in 3 days. Oh, you mean your direct deposit?
Yeah, which will only happen about 2 weeks past the contract.
They haven't told him yet. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Yo, mama!
Okay.
Should be a great guest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, I think I know where George found that queen. Somewhere on South Beach at the backdoor lounge.
Could be.
Here's a suggestion. I think you and George should alternate being each other's guests at least twice a week.
Okay. Not a bad idea.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, so what do you think about the Jews, George?
Oh, I love them.
26 past noon. Don't go off half-baked. That's what George always says to the Jews. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM. Isn't that what you always say? I'm going to read that Bush book on here. You know, we got the big debate coming up tonight. You people aren't taking this too serious. That's the feeling I'm getting about it. You got to start taking it a little more serious like your old Uncle Neil is taking it very goddamn serious because it's only 3 weeks away from Election Day, goddammit, which I will be voting 40 or 50 times for a man who's like a dead man, but nevertheless, he's our buffer. Oh, he's our buffer? Jesus God. Woo! I say we kidnap Mario Cuomo and he wakes up the next day in the White House. In the Oral Office, that's what I say. Make him an offer he can't refuse. Just stick his ass in there.
Father, you're helping all over, boy. I'm a Catholic.
Oh, now the Pope depends on you and the powers you possess. Since you saved his life with your flying scissor knife, he's got a job for you to do. You have a brand new style too. We love the way you want your due. With the big B on your chest and bulletproof in tight dress, just sending those to our old Who's with the speed of a gazelle? Sends the bad guy straight to hell. When a building starts to blow, we slowly then we know you're crushing crime with one mighty
blow. 12:32 at 560 WQM. Don't forget that QAM van is out there in Darktown. I mean, at McDonald's, Northwest 67th Avenue in Palmetto till 2 o'clock. And what are you smirking about? You're the one that said it. You gave me that lips thing, that big fat lip thing before.
Wrong side of the highway.
It's on the wrong side of the road. Well, I'm sorry, but that's where they wound up. They got the Best of Neil CDs and cassettes and those nifty keychains, which you cannot get at Specs. You can get the CDs and cassettes at Specs, however, all over town, and Fort Myers and Naples. Here's a fax from Sean, who says, my grandmother used to sing a song to me when I was a child. I think I heard you play it once. It went, have you ever met a girl so big and fat that when you go to squeeze her, you don't know where you're at? So you grab a piece of chalk in your hand and hug away and chalk away to see where you began.
Rick and Ted play that song all the time.
If you know the name of the artist, it would be. It sounds like something that they would play. But it sounds like something that Rick would play. Like Beer is Good for You.
Along those lines.
Yeah. And like you notice on our these CDs that we get, I always cross off the ones that are the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Martin and Hagen.
Oompa ones. Well, Rick likes those Oompa. That's his, Beer is Good for You. And what's the other one he plays all the time?
I Like Chinese.
I Like Chinese. Very good. Of course, not that there was a big variety to choose from, but one from column A and one from column A.
Both of them, yeah.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. We shouldn't be knocking poor Rick and Suds. They're over there on that stupid talk with no numbers, no audience. We're doing the best we can to promote them. But once we get Bob and Tom over here in the morning, then we'll have to stop doing that. Huh? In fact, even Joe, I saw the little dog in the hall this morning. He said, when's that Bob and Tom starting here taking our place? I said, pretty soon, Joe. And Defoe just gave me that paranoid, terrified, insecure look that he's always got on his puss.
660.
See, we're doing it, baby, even with the dark folks out there in a Palmetto. Be sure and bring your passport when you're out there in the Palmetto, because there's certain parts of it you haven't got any idea what country you're in. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Oh, how are you, Neil?
Okay.
Hey, how are you going to get guests confirmed? You guess when you can't even get a friggin' keychain in a stack.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Hey, I got a good idea, a good guess for you. Book Bozo Mourning, so you and him can go back and forth of how you guys are doing.
Okay. I'll hold up my wrist and he can hold up his kidney. 567 his end. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Out of town is open, but of course they can't hear us in Fort Myers, and nobody else would call us on that line, would they?
No.
No, not for love or money. 877, you know the rest. Why bother? 276 votes on our poll. This is heavy duty.
Hoagie Carmichael, hugging and a chopping.
No. Rick Riley plays Hoagie Carmichael. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh. This is a man, when he was young, he was old. That's how old he was. He was an old-time cornball, kind of like the Gabby Hayes of music. Hoagie Carmichael sang all these corny, like, novelty records about 100 years ago.
And that's one of them.
And maybe that's why Rick has got those numbers. 277, that's our number on our poll so far. Should the show go back to topics and guests once in a while? This is pretty close. Every once in a while we ask a question on the thing and it's lopsided. But today it's moved into a real battle here, a battle royal. Once in a while, 134, 48.3%. Absolutely, positively not, 121, 43.6%. And yes, 22, only 7.9%. That must be the old fart crowd that are just desperate to go back to the W Snooze days. See, we bring back all those guests. We'd even have a guest appearance by Jerry Wichner. And maybe even a $6 million man there with those sandwiches. You know, the only time that I ever remember Wichner hanging up on him, because, I mean, like real fast. Because his show was like all dead people calling in, real laid back and slow, real slow. But I remember one guy calling in one night. I was on the way home from work. He says, hey, Jerry, about those sandwiches. Click. Because that was his bread and butter, was that the $6 million man at A1 king-size sandwiches. That guy that called last week about that. God bless you, sir. Probably the guy with the bad teeth. Yeah, Ken Block Jr. 5670560, pound 5. See, and you knock those people all the time. And now that we don't do these appearances anymore, they're a lot better because we don't ever have to see them or smell them. Here's a lady mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yes, on a speaker. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Should I take it off the speaker?
It would be a lot better, but...
Okay. All right, can you hear me now?
Much better, yes.
All right. I just wanted to I've grown up here. I'm 50 years old, and I'm an American, and I've listened to you for years, and you're very, very funny.
Yeah.
You had a great sense of humor, and I wanted to call to talk about the Middle East crisis.
Oh.
Have you ever been to Israel?
No. I don't want to go to Israel.
Well, I've been there several times for
Why?
business, and also I have family that lives in northern Israel.
Yeah.
And once when I was in Jerusalem, there was these fighting
In
that broke
Jerusalem,
out
yeah.
with the kids throwing the rocks and the Israeli soldiers
with the
guns.
bullets, yeah.
And it's very interesting how these things occur and how they develop and how now it's gotten out of hand because it's.
What do you mean now? Now?
Well, this last 3 weeks of violence, it's gotten a little bit out of hand on
You mean
both
the last
sides.
5,000 years of violence?
Well, they've always had a little bit of fighting going on, and especially on Rosh Hashanah for the last 20 years, they've always fought. And the Armenians
why are you telling me this though?
No, I just wanted to tell you that I've seen the fighting, and that it's really an unfortunate, unfair crisis for both sides. They're both losing. When these things happen, the borders close down. There's no commerce going on anymore. The restaurants have to close down. Jericho has this new, modern, incredible gambling casino, and the Israelis go there all the time. Jericho's an Arab city,
Yeah.
but they go there to gamble because they have fun.
They knock the walls down when they get upset?
I saw the walls. I went to Jericho. And so no one's making money at the gambling casinos.
But why are you telling me this? How does this affect my life?
It doesn't affect your life. I'm just
Or
talking
anybody
about
else's life?
I'm just talking about what's going on over there.
So why do you keep going back there? Are you a masochist?
No, I think it's an incredible country. It's very, very interesting. You have to go there.
Well,
to understand.
I would go to Italy if I were you. It's also an incredible country, and you'll be a lot safer there.
Actually, I travel for my business, and I have family in Paris, and I go.
Oh, forget about that. Forget about that.
Every country has something to offer. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, Paris has got something to offer, all right.
Excuse me?
Smell it. I said you'd like Italy. You'll have a great time there. 21 before 1 at 560 WQAM. Those of you who are obsessed with the Israel thing, I don't get it. I had to put that up with my family on the father's side for many years.
Big Zionist, right?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. It was just because the rest of the family was too obsessive. Schlepping over there and schlepping back and schlepping over there and schlepping back and moving there and moving back and, that crap. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. No particular reason, just because, it ran in the family, that kind of problem. 20 before 1 at 560 WQAM. Hey, I'm going to tell you, it's still hot as hell out there, maybe almost the end of October. And if you want a little bit of hot air out of your car, if you want some cold air in there, go and see our good buddy Reggie at Mobile AC Charging. He comes right, in fact, you don't have to go anywhere. He comes right to your home, your office, the golf course, no matter where you are. And it's a lot better than sitting around in the service office waiting for hours. If Peter Leonard keeps handing me this kind of copy, I'm going to say, Reggie, don't pay him. Don't pay him, that's all. I mean, it's impossible trying to weed through it, finding out what these people are peddling, what it is that they're doing, what their phone number is, where they are, as opposed to Peter Leonard and his sit-down comedy routine, which I have pages and pages and pages of here.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
What the f***'s going on with Dayton Broward?
Another glorious morning. The sun is shining. I'm in bed with my wife, and all I need to make it perfect is some delicious cider from old Farmer Peckerin. Farmer Peckerin cider is the finest anywhere. In fact, I try to have my Peckerin cider every morning. Although having some Peckerin cider in the afternoon is always a nice treat, too. Sometimes I add my favorite liquor to it, and I can have some hard Peckerin cider. That's nice. So, if you're looking for that special something, why not get some Peckerin cider for yourself?
Well, what do you mean they're out in 15? What do you mean by that?
They're leaving at 1.
It says here 11 to 2.
Well,
what's the matter? They get
closing up
surrounded by a
shop.
bunch of darkies out there or something that they're wussing out like this? It says right here, I've been promoting, they're going to be there from 11 to 2. Now, what if somebody shows up like at 1:15 and they're not going to be there? We're going to have some pissed off listeners out there.
That'll be first.
Yeah. That'll be the first with our fundraiser that we had pissed off listeners, won't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like I said, from 11 till 1, they'll be at the McDonald's on 67th. Well, maybe they ate some of that food. That might have chased them out. McDonald's at 67th Avenue, Palmetto Expressway, with our Best of Neil CDs and cassettes. And, of course, those really nifty and fantastic keychains. What's the deal on our poll here? Look at that. Oh, it's a battle. Once in a while with the guests and the topics, 145. Absolutely not 134. Man, it is really tightening up. Can you feel it? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
For that culturally well-traveled lady, the only thing good about France is French fries. And
you get much better
last
ones
week when
than anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, when I spoke to George, I told him this last week, and he agreed with me, but I guess it needs repeating.
Yes.
That's got to be Princess Esther. George can tell you why.
He's giving me a blank look.
Oh, blank look. Yeah, he was with him when I told him. There's only room for one queen at the
Oh, yeah, no, he called on the air.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
567-0560, pound 560. I'll tell you that show on Friday, boy. Got this town talking. They're whipped up. See, Joe Zagacki and Greg Kotex, you can understand, they're not all talking about Zoe. They're talking about the show that George did here on Friday with that Jew bitch. I mean, with that Queen Esther. They don't come no bested than old Queen Esther. That's what I'm hearing.
Actually, she's pretty young.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing also. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Real young. Yes, sir.
Hey, regarding that canker issue, for the past 2 years, they've sent the same moron out here to my house to look over my citrus trees, which, by the way, are totally infested with canker. But does he see it? No, he doesn't see nothing. Keeps telling me
He couldn't see a canker if you had one on your lip.
He keeps telling me that it's not canker. It's some kind of grease spot. I said, well, show me a picture of what canker looks like.
It's some kind of what?
Grease spot.
Grease spot.
Yeah. So I said, show me a picture of canker.
Probably got a grease spot on his
rectum.
Ass.
So since he can't remember what canker looks like, he's got a picture of canker pinned to his shirt. So he shows me this picture, and I said, well, look, that's exactly what's on these trees. And he totally will not give in and says, no, there's no canker here. Won't take the trees down. They're never going to get rid of it. Right here, broadcast.
Well, that's a good sign. At least he won't kill your dog anyway.
Yeah.
Good luck, pal.
Hey, thanks.
That would be like going to the dermatologist when you got a nasty growth, you know, from being out in the sun playing too much golf. Golf will kill you. I don't want to get started on that again. Golf and the people who play it, because I don't want to get our friend Scott Perlman upset again. He went to Vegas and he was out there playing golf. I mean, is that pathetic or what? What do you say to a guy that goes to Vegas and plays golf?
You're gay.
Well, I mean, beside that. But if you went to the dermatologist and you had like a big nasty thing on your forehead, and you went there and he said, well, let me look in the book and see what a picture of a tumor looks like. Let me see what skin cancer looks like, and then I'll compare it and see if maybe that's it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. That's our poll question one of these days very soon. Which is a bigger pansy-ass, candy-ass sport, golf or football? Now, at least in golf, you don't see anybody out there on the course handling other guys' balls. Now, here's the deal. For the guys that were upset yesterday, they always get very incensed when I bring that up. I've only brought it up about 25,000 times because I know it pisses them off. But the football nerds out there, because I like football, it's okay. Especially when a quarterback's good looking. But anyway, the thing about putting your hands under the center's crotch to grab the ball, so to speak. Can you imagine going out to a golf course and there's a guy there on a green and the guy's getting ready to putt? Don't touch his putts. And the one guy gets down on his hands and knees, and the other guy gets up behind him and puts his hands under his crotch. What do you say to that guy?
You're gay.
Yeah, I would think so. But if it's a football game, oh, no, that's different. You don't understand. It's a real man sport, Neil. Okay. And in golf, do they go and take showers together when they're done?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, but they wear those pants.
The Scottish invented it. With those silly, I mean, if they're dumb enough to wear the kilts, they're certainly dumb enough to wear those stupid pants and those awful pansy candy-ass Larry Bird kind of socks.
Knickers.
See, that's one thing everybody, the reason we hated the Celtics wasn't just because of Johnny Most, it was because of those socks. Oh, man, talk about a bunch of fruitcakes. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to talk to you about Joe Robbie Stadium for a second. It's the only stadium in the country, and I've probably been in 100 of them, that there is not a clock in the stadium. If you sit and look around the whole perimeter of the stadium on the inside, walk around where the club seats are,
yes, sir.
Not one clock.
Well, I have an excellent suggestion. I have a great idea for you. Save the money on the admission. Don't go to the game, and you maybe can afford to buy a watch. Would be good. 56705. See, I'm very suspicious of people who don't wear a watch. I'm very nervous about people who don't wear a watch, and then they'll come up and ask you what time it is. Now, I would grant you that can be a good conversation starter, depending on the situation. Like, like in the restroom would be good.
You can always take your watch off and put it in your pocket if you really wanted to do that.
Yeah, deep in your pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling for my timepiece.
You got the time?
That's a good conversation starter. But guys who don't wear a watch, anybody who doesn't wear a watch, I'm very suspect of that person.
They must be rich. They must have nowhere to be.
No, if they were rich, they'd be wearing a Rolex. They would be brandishing it. They would be holding it up so the reflection from it would be blinding you just to show you how much money they got so they can impress you. Just like having that Lamborghini sitting in their parking lot, in the driveway.
Yeah, who would do that?
Rich assholes. Here's Opalaka. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes?
27-year-old Spartan from Opalaka.
All right.
I think the nephew would have a big problem with sending the QAM van to a real dark town like Opalaka or Liberty City.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's a real pussy. He would never go out there. You're right. He's a wuss.
Listen, for the first time, I went with my wife the other night and I saw The Exorcist for the first time.
Excellent.
And I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to say it was the scariest movie she ever saw in her life, and she still has nightmares. That's the power of Christ compels you! When I'm sitting there in the movie,
And the scene came on, hey, Father, can you help an old altar boy?
Uh-huh.
I burst out laughing hysterically. And all I could think about was, oh, that's where Neil got that from.
Exactly.
And my wife was like, shut up. You know, people are, hey, you slow it down. And then when they got to the, that serious, dramatic part, the power of Christ, I lost it again. All I can think about is, Neil Rogers.
There you go.
So you got me in trouble. My wife is mad at me.
Excellent. Well, maybe you can go out and find something good.
Yeah, well, fine. And the last thing I was thinking, as far as, the guests, I don't think you should do it very often, but I think it might be kind of fun, maybe even entertaining for you guys to set up like a mobile van and like go over town, somewhere by the Camilla's house, and just, pick some of those people, some of the riffraff that just walk around and interview them. I'm sure you'll get a 90 share out of that.
Okay, well, let me know what time your show starts.
Take care, Neil.
Good luck, Sally. I think I'm losing my faith. 5670560, pound 560 on it. Come on, let's get that Allman Brothers and Ramblin' Man. I get goosebumps. I actually get a little bit erect when I hear that Ramblin' Man, the Allman Brothers, because I think back to that scene in that bar. I think it may have been a gay bar, actually, in that movie. Yeah. With Father Karras, who was starting to get, just fall apart with this whole business that was going on with poor, what was her name? What was Linda Blair's name in that movie? Reagan.
Yes.
See how, I forgot. It goes with the name. No, but when Father Marin turns to Father Karras in the middle of that exorcism and says,
"You're gay,"
I mean, that was pretty exciting. Here's Kendall. Hello. Kendall.
Hey, what's up, Neil? How you doing?
All right.
All right. I'm just calling because I don't have no material. I just want to call somebody a douchebag.
Okay, go ahead. Just tell me, give you a permission slip right here on the world-famous Neil Rogers Show. 5670560, pound 560. See, I'd rather do that. I would rather do that than sit here talking about the Middle East or talking about that stuff. And I'm not just picking on that because George did it. I just use it as an example. I'm glad you love the show, and that's all great. I'm just not going to do it. I refuse to do it. Why should I talk about things that I don't care about? I was forced to talk about Alien for months and months and months. Did I care about Alien?
No.
Did I give a flying crap about Alien?
No.
About Maris Grecian?
No.
And a freaking phony fisherman?
No.
No. But I'm not going to make a habit of it because it's annoying. It's pointless. I'd rather sit here and go boom, 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 like that and have a much better time doing it. And so would the audience, to be honest with you, if you'd really fess up. Oh, no, Neil, we want to hear you're such a great intellect. Yeah. You have such a brilliant mind. If you just come with us to Israel, no thanks. See, that woman, she prefaced her remarks. You're not fooling me for a second. I've been doing this for too long. She prefaced her remarks with a suck-up. She's lived here all her life, and I'm very funny, and she's listened to me for years and years, which is fine. I appreciate that. That's great. But that still doesn't mean I'm going to let her, and at that point I should have said goodbye when she started hocking me a China with that Israel stuff. You see what I'm saying? She was trying to, soften me up so she could get in and get her foot in the door and start giving me a song and dance about stuff that I don't want to talk about. There's no point. There's nothing new going on over there. Oh, so for the last 3 weeks, it's been a little more than usual. Whoop-de-doo, and they burned a few more people to death than usual and killed a few other people, whatever. It's always going on. It's just a matter of degree. The 85 minutes discussion for a peace treaty, it's pointless. She's got me going on it again. Absolutely pointless. When you're dealing with religious fanaticism, there is no give and take. There is no yin and yang. There are no concessions. There's no, that's why Arafat never even came back with a counteroffer. They're all so surprised that, what counteroffer? When you're dealing with terrorists, what's the point? It's like we're waiting for the counteroffer from Osama bin Laden. Has anybody seen that yet?
No.
It's coming. It's in the mail. The pony's bringing it, along with your bonus check from Beasley. 4 minutes till 1 at 560 QAM.
This is 560 QAM. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Hey, buttheads. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Yeah. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit.
Yes.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. The rich spoiled brat and the cocaine junkie. What's he gonna do with all that campaign money? He don't give a crap about people going hungry. But don't confuse them with the facts. Oh. We can't find your rap sheet. It just disappeared. We're looking all over, and it still ain't here. Hey, Georgie Jr., where's your rap sheet? Are you afraid that we'll find out that you disclose you were a rich college kid, a drunken party punk, and you got bitch for possession of drugs? But a rich bitch like you can hire a judge to get some Ajax Splendor and the big expunge. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. One more time. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Come on. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Yes, George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
Quoted in the LA Times saying January 28th, 2000 in the appearance in Nashua, New Hampshire. This is Preservation Month. I appreciate preservation. It's what you do when you run for president. You got to preserve. Yeah, not making that up. Speaking during Perseverance Month at Fairgrounds Elementary School in Nashua, New Hampshire in January of this year.
Is that like strawberry preserves?
Yes. Well, why do you think they call it Schmuckers? They must have been thinking about W. 5670560, pound 560 on the 8. I mean, this man is ignorant. He is ignorant. He doesn't make a little slip of the tongue or place a syllable here and there. He's dumb, baby. Real serious dumb. And if you like dumb, there you go. Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello.
Hello, Neil. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I've been listening to you now for, God, I don't know how long, probably 10 years plus. And the first time I called you, and the reason I'm calling you, people want to talk about this Elian thing and the bombing. Let's talk about the business at hand. We're talking about a president that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. We need to let people know that this guy is worthless. We're talking family values. This guy knows nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh, his family's got values.
Yeah, he got values. He
That's just potatoes for 3 times a day for meals.
He does cocaine, and he doesn't want to answer the issues, but he wants to go after Clinton, who I think is one of the best presidents we've had yet. He's going to bed with.
Uh-huh.
You know?
It seems pretty obvious. It's so obvious that it's scary.
It is scary. Neil, hey, Neil, love your show. I'll never stop listening to you, buddy.
Let's hope Al wakes up tonight, baby. Tonight's the night.
Pretty obvious.
Okay. And turn that radio back up. Oh, we did? 5670560, pound 560 on the 18. We got the third debate. The third and final debate. You turd in San Luis tonight. And so help me, if that Dave's a cop, don't stop calling. And you wonder why there are people getting killed out there? Our cops are busy calling talk shows. We don't want our cops calling talk shows. We want them out there, arresting pimps and prostitutes. Oh, we don't? We want them out there busting swing clubs and stuff. Yeah, we want them out there busting heads of all those teenagers that are trying to get into those clubs. Not. D.C. March draws a crowd as the headline, but then the crux of the article is that they don't want to make an estimate because it pisses off the dark folks, or at least it pissed off Louis Farrakhan. When they made the estimate the last time they did the million-man march, there was only like 17 people. There was 400,000, they said. I think that was a pretty good estimate. That's what I counted. What'd you count?
I didn't.
6?
860.
6 million.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's how much they have at the van.
Oh, they have 860. That's not how many people were there yesterday. We don't want to get those dark folks all upset again. We're not saying it was only 860 people there yesterday, although this picture don't look like much more than that. But at the van, the QAM van, it's still there. They're still hanging on, which I forgot to mention. That's why they're bugging you now, because they want to make the 1,000 and get out of there. But anyway, no, I don't blame them. The dark folks are starting to move in now. And Miguel's probably, he's probably sitting on the nephew's lap now. He's getting so nervous. Those Cubans get real nervous when they get surrounded by dark folks. But anyway, the QAM van is at McDonald's on 67th Avenue, Palmetto Expressway for another, till I get $1,000 bucks. What do we got, 860? 140 more bucks to get to 1,000. Please, CDs, cassettes, the keychains, which I have one here somewhere. You know what happens to me all the time? I'll be like walking into somewhere, like into a doctor's room, and I'll have one of these in my pocket.
And it'll go off.
See, like that, right in my pocket. And like people start looking around like, where did that come from?
It's happening to everybody. Mine in the briefcase goes out.
And they look around like, what's that?
When everyone's pressing the button, I can't shut it off, so I'm banging on the briefcase and it's
and they give you a look kind of like they think there's a little man in your rectum. And of course, in some cases, like Carlos, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't be picking on Carlos again just because Joe Costello put you up to it. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Man, I love your show. I haven't been able to hear you for 2 weeks. I missed you terribly when I'm gone. I do mean that.
Okay.
Listen, when I left 2 weeks ago,
Yes?
you were talking about which hand you wipe your butt with.
Right. Now I got my cast off. I got my right hand. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that again because you can never mention too often. I'm wiping with my right hand again. Loving it.
Well, did you know, I read in National Geographic that is a big deal.
What were you reading National Geographic for? Looking at those pictures?
Well, I'd like to, listen.
Come on. You're not fooling me. I know the only people who read National Geographic.
I don't subscribe to it. I look at it once in a while.
Pick it up in the doctor's office, right. That's a good excuse.
So, in some of these Middle Eastern countries, that is a real big deal about wiping your butt with your left or right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody should hopefully call in and verify this.
I'm glad to hear that at least in some of the Middle Eastern countries they're starting to wipe. That's a good sign. That's an improvement.
Well, they say if you would never wipe your butt with your right hand because that's the one that you use to scoop food out of the bowl and eat with, and it would be a supreme insult to say that somebody wipes their butt with their right hand.
Yeah, especially in those barbaric countries where they have no soap.
Oh, and in Paris they dip their French fries in mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So.
And guess what?
What?
Amsterdam too.
Really?
How do you like that?
That is cool beans.
Okay, have a great day. Now, that's because of the proximity of the countries. You think that has something to do with it? No. How about Belgium? You ever hear somebody speaking Belgian? They have, what is the language they speak there? It's called, besides Dutch and French, they have, what do they call that? Come on, George, you're supposed to be the expert on this stuff.
In Belgium?
Yes, they have a language. It's called, Flemish. Yeah, no, that's Yiddish. It's Flemish. Seriously, you never heard of Flemish?
Yeah, I've heard of Flemish.
Well, that's what the Belgians do, some of them. Which maybe somebody can tell us what that is. I would imagine it's a mixture of like French and Dutch.
French?
Yeah, French. But the fries and the mayonnaise, boy, that's enough to make it. And then in Canada, they have this, like brown sauce. They dip it in the fries.
Really?
Brown sauce. Yeah.
Gravy, I hope.
You've heard of refried beans? This is refried something. 8 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM.
Why don't you go back to Canada, you Jew bastard?
Mr. and Mrs. Ramsey, did either of you have anything to do with the death of your daughter?
I have to admit that yes, I did.
You did too? Yes.
Child murdered in the home. The parents did it.
Yes, the parents did it. Motive number 1.
We were evil.
Tell me about it. You got angry. You lost it. You snapped. Furious. You did it.
I did. And for someone to tell me that I didn't act right, I don't accept.
All right. 113 at 560. Oh, now the deal is, according to the tabloids that I was reading on a plane coming back from Vegas, the deal is now that they think she wrote it with her left hand because she's ambidextrous. Mommy? Yeah, they think that she did it with her, wrote the note with the left hand. And then we understand that Daddy's ambidextrous too. He can also do it with both hands. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Got several open lines on there. I just mentioned that because we got 47 minutes to go. And if you don't call, we're going to put a guest on. Here's the poll, man. We got a poll that's tighter than a witch's ass. Should the show go back to guests and topics? And, of course, this question being inspired by the unbelievable response we had yesterday to George's make-believe show on Friday with that phony Israeli guest that was all put on. Once in a while, 157. Absolutely not. 156. Can't get no tighter than that.
No.
And, of course, in the column, only 27. So the battle is between those who want to guess once in a while. And, of course, have we had anybody call in with the name of a guest that we want to have on the show?
No.
That anybody in the audience would ever want to hear?
No.
The only one that was even close, and I commend the guy for having the perspicacity to recommend it, was the
You're gay.
guy. That guy. The Reverend and his disciples. The minister of the Holy Epistola. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Yes, Neil Rogers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speaking of that, this is Reverend Chad at the Church of Chad, and I would like to say that Pastor Jones will not be coming into your studio to speak, and I wish this whole thing would come to an end. Now, all my disciples now are just way out of hand, thinking that I'm encouraging this.
It's out of their hands.
This thing is spread almost down to Los Olas now.
You're gay.
Please, don't play with bits anymore, please.
You're gay. You're gay. You're gay.
Please, Neil,
You're
I
gay.
can't.
You're gay.
You're turning this whole thing into a mockery.
You're gay.
Please,
You're
stop
gay.
it.
You're gay.
You wouldn't want to turn anyone's church into a mockery now, would you?
Gay. You're gay.
It's spreading all the way to Los Olas. Pretty soon they might even have a few fags down there.
You're gay.
On Los Olas. Better watch it. 567, and he didn't sound too exciting this time, did he? Don't push your luck, okay, pal? About once every 6 months, guys like you are really a panic. 567-0560, that's the number to call. The price is right. It don't cost you a dime. Also, they said in the tabloid that Bob Barker is quitting. How do you like that?
Oh,
he's had enough. He's 122 years old, and he wants to stop spinning that damn thing and going on to something else in life. Like, you know something? If we had Bob Barker down here, I guarantee you that dog wouldn't have got killed. I guarantee you those Chancler people wouldn't have been anywhere near that yard. They wouldn't have been messing with nobody with a dog, and they would have sprayed him in the puss. The stuff that goes on, and while you people are worried about crap, did we have anybody call today about Alonzo Mourning and his kidney? I mean, off the air?
No.
Not one.
No.
That's probably because Hank played the press conference 4 more times yesterday, which was a good way to kill an hour. Nice going, Humper. That was really good. He's got Al Downing today. That was funny. Robert Jones. He's got the press conference a few more times. Then he's got a story about Pavel Bure and how he got his joint worked on over the weekend. Yeah, the massage therapist, Judy Five Fingers. She's related to Frankie Pentangeli. She gave him the once-over. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm calling about the agriculture thing.
Yes, sir.
They came here about 4 times. They never knocked once. And the guy that came, I've had my tree since I had the house, which was 10 years, and I venture to say that the tree was probably 50 years old because it was like 20 feet high and like 15 feet wide.
Uh-huh.
Produced hundreds of grapefruits, which I gave to my neighbors and friends and stuff. I mean, grapefruit you could eat like an orange. Anyway, they came in here, and I really didn't have much say about it when they did come, and I had to, like, stand back and watch them cut this tree down. Now, this tree, it probably had its own immune system, but I had maintained it and trimmed it. It was like a good therapy or like something for me to do around the house.
Mm-hmm.
But they came in and ripped that and the tangerine tree out, and what I did notice is that they destroyed some Royal Queen palms that were in pots.
Some what? Some Royal what?
Royal Queen palm trees.
Queen palm trees, yeah.
Yeah. And
I like a lot of salt on the fruit. First the grapefruit and the tangerine, and then the Royal Queen.
Right.
Yeah.
And they destroyed like hand sewn things that my wife had made.
Mm-hmm.
And like an antique wheelbarrow that had been sitting back there for a long time. Well, I didn't notice any of that stuff until after they had gone, and they had left.
Yeah.
And like today, I noticed they scraped up the whole gated area, but all they really left me was a pile of sawdust, and I really didn't have much to say about it.
Yeah. Sounds like a pile of crap to me.
And when the guy came, I asked him, could I like save my tree? And he said, no, you're within the perimeter of this one tree they had found.
The Chancler Nazis got you, man. That's what it is.
Well, they left down the end of the street. A guy's got a whole yard full of trees that they left up.
Well, he knew where to grease it, and the palm, too. How do you like that? They messed with that Royal Queen. Now they're really getting carried away. That's all that Jeb Bush is what it's all behind. Just remember that. All you log cabin Republicans, you're going to get your log chopped off if you go with a Bushmeister. I just mentioned that. I want to get you panicky. Just keep that in mind. They got some real good places up there in Alachua County where you're going to have a great time for summer camp and fall and winter and all the spring, too. You'll have a hell of a time. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I think probably the smartest thing that Bush could say tonight would be... Yeah, that would be the best thing he's going to say.
1140.
No, come on.
Yeah?
How's that possible?
Because of the big push we put behind it. You.
Because Miguel and Chris both dug down deep in their pockets and forked out the cash just to get out of there? Well, here's Boca Brian, who must know that I have a few bucks left over from Vegas. Not too much. That's correct. 567-0560. Why do I keep giving that number out? Because it kills a lot of good time. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Oh, that's me, I guess.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, well, maybe a previous caller would be a great guest for a garden show you could have.
That's not a bad idea. They took that gardener off IOD. We'll have to start doing a gardening show.
My list of guests, I've been listening since you were on WKAT.
Oh, no, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I've been here since 65.
Woo.
And I tell you, it's been very great having you on the radio.
It has. It's the only thing that kept you here, probably.
Well, that and tenure. But I like talk radio, and I'd like to have a show where you could discuss talk radio the way it used to be in the good old days. In fact, the best show ever was the first battle of the talk show host.
That was my idea. I'll take credit for that, yeah.
Yeah, you could have Steve Kane, Jack Cole, Farrakhan.
Boy!
It was just wonderful, wouldn't it?
No.
My favorite shows were issue shows. I think the best tapes during the summer were issue tapes. Issue doesn't mean guests, but guests do help issues sometimes. I appreciate the show, Neil.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
You hear that? He said the best tapes during the summer were issue tapes. Probably Cuba and the Pope. Huh? Pope and Cubans, and the Cubans and the Pope, and Ed Pope and the Cubans.
And Elion.
And Ed Pope and the old rope-a-dope, and Elion, too. I don't want topics. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, guess what? Woo! Look at this. And don't say anything about me influencing this, because I've been watching this with great interest. What do you mean by that? What did I say? What did I just get through saying? Oh, that's right. Should the show go back to guests and topics? Absolutely not 168. Once in a while, 162. We've pulled into the lead. We. I don't want to tell you how I voted, but we have pulled into the lead. The crowd is only 28. A scant 7.7%. Or is that 7.7? As Eric Reed would say. Stop saying that, okay? It's not bad enough that Pat Riley's got all these heartaches now with his star player not playing the whole year, but he's got to put up with Eric Reed talking through his teeth. Quit doing it, Eric. 707. People don't talk like that. Real people don't talk in that affected, disgusting way. You do a fine job if you stop talking through your goddamn teeth. If I've told you once, I've told you 700 times to quit doing it. See, people won't listen to me. I tell them things out of the kindness of my heart to try to better. Like the organization over there in the Macarena. Stop making the racket. Stop making that noisy, loud circus and driving people away. You can't afford to drive anybody out of there. You've got like 1,000 fewer every year. It's like 1,000 to 2,000 fewer season tickets sold, and the people are just running away in droves. They still haven't won a game. I got two teams I root for between the two of them that couldn't get arrested in Broward County. And you sure as hell can't afford to be driving the fans away. Stop with the racket and ditch that broad from Channel 7. I'm begging you. Or either that or bring back the monks, one or the other. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello?
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody really got into the tonight's game where Patrick Watt could break the record? I don't really watch hockey now. I used to watch it a long time ago, but I think Terry Sawchuk was definitely a better player.
Of course he was. Of course he isn't around to tell a story.
Yeah, but they don't
He's
really
dead.
get in and tell you, his
You know that Terry Sawchuk was rooming with Ron Stewart?
Did not know that.
And, they got into a drunken brawl. They were both notorious drunks. And that's how he died. He another one of those guys that died at a very early age. Yeah, I would agree with you. But you gotta remember, you're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing a guy who played in the original 6 teams with a guy who's played his whole career after expansion. There's no comparison.
The watered down effect.
That's exactly correct.
Now, I was out in Vegas about 3 weeks ago. I stayed at Bellagio. Their lunch there, their brunch lunch, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you really don't see that many fat people out there.
No, you're right about that.
And
at the MGM it had the usual beautiful young crowd, as always.
Right. But, like you say, this could have been one of the greatest places, Neil.
Yeah.
I lived here 31 years, and I don't know, these Bible Belt people, they voted it up in Mississippi and Biloxi, so I don't understand why, they couldn't have it in that little...
The amazing part about Vegas is that no matter how many new casinos they keep building, no matter how many new hotel rooms they keep creating, that it's always packed. I was out there this weekend, and it was just jam-packed.
Yeah.
Jam-packed.
Even the only thing I don't like is those third world people handing out all that, call this slut, call this whore, call this bitch, you know what I mean?
No.
Did you notice that?
Third world people?
Well, maybe fourth.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, you have people handing out, like, Spanish...
Oh, I never encountered any of that.
You never did?
So I lucked out. Like I said, stay in the MGM.
Okay.
Viva Las Vegas. Yeah, I lost my ass out there. And you know something? I'm already getting ready to go back. See, I said yesterday, I said I'm burned out, and because I had like a nasty loss. I lost a lot. In fact, Booker Bryan would like to have in his bank account what I lost there this weekend. But it's small potatoes compared to Xerox and Citrus. Yeah, Mitch Hirsch, how do you like that? I'd rather take all the money out there, all my money, and just put it on red. Yeah, just one shot at it on the roulette table. Put it on red. Okay, double or nothing. Then the guy, at least then I'd have a little excitement, a little rush, a little something. Besides, instead of a rush, I'm getting a flush from Mitch Hirsch. Do I get a call about Xerox that's down to $7.50 a share that I bought at $25? Did I get a call from this man when he sold his Xerox? Did I get a call about that to warn me that maybe now's the time to dump out?
No.
Do I get anything? No. No, I just get a balance sheet that keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Pretty soon we're going to find him in that sheet. Because quite frankly, I think he's full of crap. 26 after 1 at 560. See, I never should have got involved with anybody who was on the Steve Kane show. I should have known that from the beginning. I never have heard it, but I've heard about the fact that he advertises on that program. Okay? If I would have known that up front, Rimmer and all of King's horses could never have talked me into giving my money to Mitch Hirsch. But anytime I find out that somebody's advertising on that program, like the guy with the holes in the head, you know, with the hair plugs, the plugs, yeah. Oh my God. Talk about a guy who just, I mean, I realize the guy's got to make a living. But Jesus, the guy with the holes in his head and a hole in his rectum, man. Very sad, Steve-O. How's that peppercorn sauce coming, by the way? And that Parmesan cheese. 26 after 1 at 560 WQM. Although Burton Jack's is good. That's one of his sponsors that actually is good. How come I always keep mentioning that? Maybe I'll get a free meal there someday. I doubt it. Remember those great days we were at Burton Jack's with our good friend Steve Bolger and Rana Fink?
I think of it often.
Remember that dinner we went there and Rana showed up? Well, we did it. We paid Steve Nickel to go away. Yeah. Now how about paying Bud Paxton to go away? And Max, the engineer. And what's his name?
Roy!
The chief engineer. 126 at 560 WQS.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
You're a bastard.
It be Alonzo Mourning. And Alonzo, he ain't feeling good. Here's the best we got to sort those tragedies. Can't play no basketball now. In their husband, he might be falling down. That's what they work for, nothing down. Let's have a big booty. Basket. We have the ball. They no more.
We're live now to the press conference already in progress.
I don't know what I've been told. This big woman has got no soul. Now, here be my doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Marky Price from Columbia University, New York. And I'm here to assure you that I had a very good year today. Thank you.
132 at 560 WQAM. Oh, we're bad. Are we bad? Are we insensitive? Yeah. We're obnoxious. 381 votes so far. Should we go back to guests and topics? Absolutely not. 181. Once in a while, 171. Yes, only 29. So we got a real horse race going on there, just like the presidential election. Anybody going to be watching that debate tonight?
No.
I'll be glued to it, man. I'll be glued to it. I'll be sitting up real close. I'll be watching who's winking and who's blinking. If there's one here out of place. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's quite an honor. I'm glad to have you back.
Have me back?
Yes. You're on the radio here. You're on 770.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean back? Were we ever? Oh, you mean this hour, after that hour of crap they put on, yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Boring as age.
Boring is talking about topics, right?
So I had a question. Why are you so enamored with Amsterdam?
Why am I so enamored with it?
Yes, there's plenty of great cities in Europe.
Yeah, well, I've been probably in most of the ones you would mention. Copenhagen, Stockholm.
Copenhagen, no, I wouldn't agree. I would say London.
I wouldn't go to London if you pay me. I hate Paris. Keep going.
Berlin, Hamburg.
I love Berlin, yes.
Berlin.
How about Cologne?
Cologne, yes.
Cologne, yeah, it's great. How about Rome? How about Milano? How about Firenze? How about Bologna?
Yes, but the only one that you mentioned is Amsterdam.
Well, that happens to be my favorite at the moment, but you sometimes change your mind. I have an apartment there. I live there part of the time.
Have you been to St. Pauli?
No. I saw St. Pauli Grill there with Bifo in Vegas. The St. Pauli Grill.
Yeah. But
don't you like Amsterdam? Have you got some kind of a thing against it?
Yeah, I lived in Dusseldorf for a long time.
Oh, well, Dusseldorf is like right by Köln.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Amsterdam?
Well, I went there just, to have a look, to see the canals. And
see the canals?
Yes, it's the famous, it's like, that's what everybody goes there to see.
So everybody goes to Amsterdam to see the canals?
Yes, of course.
And not the Anne Frank house?
Yes, of course, they go to see the Anne Frank house as well.
Right, and the Albert Heijn supermarket?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh.
But it's also, I think you should, you should also tell your listeners that it's a bit of a rough city, What
do you mean by that?
Well, there's a lot of crime in Amsterdam.
No, there's not.
Of course there is.
No, there absolutely is not. There are pickpockets. There's no violent crime in Amsterdam. What are you talking about?
Well, you've been, Amsterdam.
I've been there 75 times. There's no it's not a dangerous place to be. I've walked there 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I would never look over my shoulder even. There's no violent crime. There's pickpockets.
I would prefer, if I was going to a city in Europe,
In fact, you mentioned London. London's violent crime rate is skyrocketing. They're having a nervous breakdown over there. They're like rivaling this country now with violent crime in London.
Oh, they're not even close.
But they're catching up fast.
But Amsterdam, for example, is they have a problem with prostitution because it's...
No, they don't have any problem with prostitution. What are you talking about? There's no problem with prostitution. It's clean. It's inside. There are no streetwalkers.
Have you been to the seedier side?
The what?
The seedier side.
You mean like the red light district where I fell and broke my ribs in my hand? Of course.
Of course. In that district, everything's regulated. But have you been to the other parts of the city?
I've been all over the city. I live in the city. I've been all over it.
So you like it?
I love it. I don't like it. I love it. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. Just stay in London or in Fort Myers. They're both great cities.
Well, we're glad to have you back anyways.
Okay, thanks. See, this guy's upset because I like Amsterdam. It would be like my saying, how come you like lemon chiffon pie? I like banana cream pie. Right? How come you like this? How come you like that? I don't understand that. I don't get it. For the life of me, I don't get it. I like rice pudding. Therefore, you must like it too, although I don't really like rice pudding, but I'm just using that as an example. How about a big chalupa from Taco Bell? Oh! I had my first chalupa from Taco Bell in Vegas, of all places, got in the rent-a-car, and there I was at Taco Bell and had my first chalupa. Boy, that was good. 23 till 2 at 560 WQAM. And I apologize for saying all those good things about Amsterdam because they got more than enough tourists and more than enough people, and we don't need too many pain-in-the-ass people coming there to see the goddamn canals. Because I know that's why I go there. I just stand there and I watch the Prinsengracht and the Kaisergracht and all the other canals. That's why I go there. Pretty soon, if I watch them enough, I'll be able to speak Flemish. Did anybody call you about that? About Belgium? Speaking Flemish?
Stan Wertheimer did, but I forgot what he said.
Stan Wertheimer did? Casino Stan?
I put it out of my mind.
Oh, God. Is that man still around, Casino Stan? Is he still sending you those envelopes?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But you'll be happy to know I no longer open them.
You Schmidt can?
Yeah.
Good move. 22 before 2 at 560 WQAM. Were you slugs packing?
Hey, Coach Wonstead, where'd you get that crazy haircut?
I treat my hair with the Dave Wonstadt Homeless Man Treatment System.
How's it work?
Simple. All I have to do is devour homeless men.
That's right, Dave. And now this amazing new hair treatment is available to you. Imagine thick, unmanageable, smelly gray hair for your very own. All from this easy-to-follow diet of homeless men. Fully inspected and deemed edible by the Broward County Board of Commissioners. Coach Wonstadt guarantees you'll see results in 2 weeks, and if you're not completely satisfied, we'll give you a full refund in surplus juice.
30-year Dave Wonstedt Homeless Man Hair Treatment System today. And Dave will throw in the Dave Wonstedt Skincare System absolutely free. Call now. Call 1-800-999 within the next 10 minutes and receive 2 bottles of Gee, Your Hair Smells Like a Gorilla's Ass shampoo.
143 at 560 WQM. The Globe says Lieutenant Bush was too drunk to fly, which I read that whole thing yesterday, but it's certainly worth repeating again today, especially as everybody's getting whipped up to a frenzy for that big debate tonight. Man, you can feel it. You can almost smell it. No excuses not to be watching the big debate tonight. This is it. This is the last one, the third, and they might actually both be awake, but I doubt it. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
All right, did you catch that caller that called Hank yesterday and was complaining about how you were insensitive during
No, I did not hear that.
Morning?
I would have loved to have heard that.
Oh, Neil, this was the best, man. The guy was all over you because you were cutting in on Alonzo's news conference and you were making him, let's get to the point, hurry up. So Hank did a good thing. He just hung up on us. So take it up with Neil.
Yeah.
That was great.
I understand Hank's playing that press conference 4 or 5 times again today to kill some time till Lyle Downing comes on.
He's milking it, Neil.
You bet.
Let me, one other point. I got my bags packed and my passport ready on November 8th.
Okay.
See you.
See you at the airport. See you at the Tamiami. We're not taking the regular airport. Probably got better concessions available at Tamiami Airport. I mean, what kind of an airport is that? I'll say it again, didn't get any response on that because they don't know. This guy from Fort Myers that called me about, he was probably spent too much time in Dusseldorf. That was probably and he liked the French. Parigi. That's what I say to you can have the French. Have a great time there. Go eat those fries with me. I want them. Forget it. Ever watch a French fry? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hey, we don't want that guy over here in Fort Myers. He needs to get the hell out of here. That guy was an old fossil.
Maybe which one? The one that called before? He wasn't old. He was a young guy.
No. The guy that just called like a few minutes ago.
The one from Fort Myers that was giving me crap about Amsterdam?
Yeah, he sounded older than me.
Yeah, over 20, I would say.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, about this guest thing and everything like that, the only guests that you have there that are entertaining is when you have, like, Jeff Cohn come in and Goldstein, yeah. Goldstein, and, when you had Ron Jeremy, that's entertainment, but like,
when somebody just pops in spontaneously off the street, we can have some fun.
Yeah, we don't want any of these old people in here or anything like that,
See, what these people that want us to go back to the guests don't understand is that anybody under the age of 70 doesn't want to hear that kind of radio. That radio is dead. Because all those debates, they already burned them out years ago about capital punishment and about abortion and politics. Hey, it's already been burned out. What is there left to say about it?
Yeah, I want to see people like that. I watch Larry King in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
With
the other old people like me.
But if you are going to have guests, the only entertainment, like true guests that don't pop in or anything like that, would be like the Bridge Center and the Fags and the Church guy.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll work on it.
Okay.
See. How's the Bridge Center doing? Yeah. Maybe, something that would be a good, you can start working on this. We can get him, the Bridge Center, and the...
You're gay. Idiotic.
Together. That would be good. Have them just sit here and scream at each other. I'm sure one of them's a screamer. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We're doing it today. That hair is tight, man. You couldn't put a witch's pubic hair in there. It's so tight. And, of course, if you want to find a witch's pubic hair, we probably have to go back and dig up some of those bodies, those corpses from Salem. Because that's where the original witches were until Rosie O'Donnell got on TV. She is disgusting, She is everything that anybody could despise about life. Is just right there in that fat, oozing, dykey, disgusting body of hers. She just makes me sick. Rosie O'Donnell. Hey, Rosie.
You're gay.
Yeah. Anyway, should the show go back to guests and topics? Absolutely not. 190, 47.6%. Once in a while, 179, 44 points. And I should point this out. Alonzo ain't pissed off at me. He's pissed off at little Barry Jackass, which he even pointed that out in his press conference yesterday. And Barry wrote this morning, say it isn't Zoe. Or some crap like that. Didn't you write that?
No.
Oh, I just made it up. In fact, you know something? It would have been clever, Barry, but of course that's way beyond you. Any guy that's got to have... I had some problems wiping with my bad hand in my accident, but I didn't have to have Mommy come over and wipe my ass like Barry does. How old would you say he is? Like around 30-ish now? Barry Jackass, something like that? He's got to have not only mommy driving to work and back every day, but he's got to have mommy wipe his ass. I wonder if Barry still wears diapers. What do you think? Probably. And he put his article on the front page in the Herald. It's like the Herald is announcing to you, this is the best we got. This is the best we can do. Here's a guy who totally blew this story, and this is the best we can do. We're putting him back on the front page again. And the rumor I'm hearing is tomorrow he's going to be writing another story about laughing and how good they're doing in the ratings. Right on the front page. About the sports station. That nobody heard yet and nobody can pick up on their radio. It's 11 before 2 at 560 WQA.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
There's no fags in the church.
My girlfriend's got a bull-dyed haircut, boy, she looks like Aunt Hay. My girlfriend's got a bull-dyed haircut, I didn't know that she was gay. Good thing I'm not a homophobe, these truck driving guys won't leave us alone. All day long, the phone is buzzing with all the lesbians looking for some muffins. My girlfriend got a bull-dyed haircut, so to get more proof, I got a bull-dyed haircut too.
All right. 154 at 560 WQAM. So I'm looking at a carton of water that Sal Falcone brought us, the Soleil water. And it says on there, Acqua Minerale Naturale Gasata. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if that's related to Isabel de Gasata that used to work on the TV here. Remember her? Isabel de Casada. Isabel de Casada. Nicaragua. Oh, God. Lay off the crap, okay, Isabel? And go to hell? Yeah, Acqua Minerale Naturale Gasata. Con gas. Oh, that's right, that guy's going to be upset, now I'm going to start doing it in Dutch. Dewey. Yeah, what was he talking about going to Amsterdam and seeing the canals? In addition to which, he was in all those tough neighborhoods, allegedly. See, if you're going to really go there to look at the canals, don't tell me about all the bad neighborhoods that I haven't been in and how rough it is over there. Because what the hell were you doing over there, huh, Mr. Dusseldorf? Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Chris. I just wanted to talk about the actual issue of this debate tonight.
Yes?
Now, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a radical for individuality, and I think you're one of the most tremendous individuals in South Florida.
Absolutely correct. That's what I always tell them.
And I'd like to hear one of the gentlemen or both respond to the question, what are my rights as an individual?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think you better get over to St. Louis and replace Jim Lear before that debate tonight, because you know the powder puff. Although, how are they doing this one tonight? Isn't this one they're giving questions from the undecided, from the audience, I think?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a town hall undecided meeting.
Right.
Who knows what that'll really turn out to be.
Probably all stuffed with fascists.
But what are your rights as an individual, Neil?
What are my rights?
Given the fact there's 6 billion people on Earth, we're all individuals, what are our rights given the fact we can't really infringe upon the others?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think hanging up on a call is the right I have as the host of the show. I mean, he was, I got 4 minutes left here. I'm going to go into a dialogue about what are my rights as a human being.
You used your right hand.
I used my right hand to hang up on the phone, and now my right hand is working pretty good. Thanks a lot, Louise. Geez, Louise, she's good, my therapy lady. I think I'm going to hook you up with Louise or work on your thumb.
Or whatever part is aching.
Yeah, she might work on it. She might straighten it out, and the thumb, too.
What's she look like?
She looks like Louise. What do you mean, what does she look like? She's a nice lady. She's not a young, some hot number like you, like I'm about 15 or 16 years old. No, she's not that. She's old enough to be your mama, okay? I mean, close. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
Yeah, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
If I lost the use of my right hand, I'd feel like I lost my best friend.
Really?
Yeah. And I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
Got to learn to be ambidextrous, man.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor. Could you ask Hank what the under-over is in Vegas for how many times Bush is going to snort tonight?
Good point. Excellent. We'll get right on that. Maybe I can make my money back from all I lost this weekend. There's one. Seriously, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. When you look on your TV screen and you see that face, the image, with the unkempt, gray, silvery, slivery hair, like fate in all different directions, like Don King on a bad day. And you see that look of absolute vacuousness stupidity. Like that. What is it that you could possibly see there, other than, of course, for that promised tax cut, which you're probably not going to get anyway, unless you're loaded with cash? Other than that, what could you possibly see there that you would like? That you would cast your precious vote for this man, for this dunderhead, for this imbecile?
Where's that book?
No, don't do it. Now, I want to find some of these great quotes again. Just to leave you with today. My education message will resonate amongst all parents, as quoted in the New York Post, January 19th of this year. My education message will resonate amongst all parents. Boston Globe quotes him on January 23rd of this year, saying, a key to foreign policy is to rely on reliance. Associated Press, February 15th, push the off button on. He said to parents bothered by the amount of profanity and violence on television, push the off button on.